Good morning. We want to welcome you this morning to our Drainage District Board of Directors meeting for today, August 22nd, 2017. Present are Commissioner Fuentes, Precinct 1, Cantu, Precinct 2, Palacios, Precinct 4, and myself. We have a quorum. Please join us in prayer.
Thank you, Judge. Let us pray. Father God, we give you thanks for another great day that you've given us. Thank you for the opportunity that you give us today, Lord, to come serve this great county. Lord, continue to bless this great board that you've appointed. Continue to provide them your wisdom, Lord, your understanding, and more importantly, your peace, Lord, as they make these difficult decisions that affect us all, Lord. Apply that same wisdom, understanding, and peace to myself, my staff, and all those that lead this great county, Lord. Just be with us as we brace for whatever storm comes this weekend, Lord. Know that we are under your protection, Lord. Help guide us, help us respond in our best ability, and help keep our public safe as well, Lord. I ask all this in your Son's name. Amen.
Under open forum, did anyone sign up? All right, we have two presenters. The first presenter is Stephanie Rojas.
Good morning, Commissioners. On behalf of ARISE, LUPA, and Texas Low-Income Housing Information Services, we just wanted to invite you on Thursday, September 14th, 2017 at 10 a.m. LUPA Union Hall will be having an event. It will be an opportunity for leaders such as yourselves and the community at large to engage directly with residents of Hidalgo County Colonias to hear our input to the county's proposed assessment of fair housing. So we're just going to go ahead and pass these invitations to you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Next presenter is Norma Aldape.
Buenos días, comisionados, juez. Esta mañana vengo para dar gracias al señor Cecín, que estuvo ayer con nosotros en una reunión. En esta colonia están trabajando con el drenaje. Ayer tuvimos una reunión porque los vecinos estamos muy preocupados por el tipo de drenaje que se está construyendo, principalmente por el área de enfrente de la 13:30. Es pues muy honda. Nos hablaban de diches, ¿verdad? Pero yo veo como canales y es muy mal para la seguridad de nuestros niños, ¿verdad? Porque pueden pasar muchos accidentes y pensamos buscar con ellos una mejor manera para que sea más segura vivir en esta comunidad, en esta área. Invitamos al comisionado que si puede ir a dar la vuelta. Ayer sé que una persona estuvo ahí del precinto, pero nos gustaría que él personalmente fuera a mirar el trabajo para que vea la magnitud del diche, el canal, para seguridad de nuestras familias. Gracias.
Good morning, my name is Norma Aldape. I live in Los Olivares Acres, and this morning I'm just here to thank Mr. Cecín for coming to a very quick meeting in our community, and I just wanted to express our deepest, sincere worries that the ditches that are being made, the drainage projects that are being done, they're super dangerous for our community. I mean, they are going to solve the issues of our houses not being underwater, but they're really big, deep ditches that are really wide and deep. And it puts really concern to our children not being safe and the cars that drive by. So we invite Commissioner Fuentes to please come and check it out, because we know we're going to try to find solutions to make it safe, but at the moment it's really scary and the community is super concerned with this. Thank you.
All right. On our consent agenda, any concerns?
No, sir. None that I'm aware of,
Move
sir.
for approval of consent agenda.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 5 will be item 5A, submission 2017 effective rollback tax rates. The proposed tax rate, I guess, that we're looking at is the same tax rate we currently hold, which is 9.51 cents for the district. Is what would be proposed, which is under the rollback rate. So that's what we'd like to propose at this time.
Do you need a motion for approval?
Yeah. Okay, I just want to say that since you.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Since he's proposing last year's tax rate, it's above the effective tax rate. So once that happens, then we do have to have 2 public hearings, and so we'll have to set the date, time, and place. And I do have the calendar for September the 5th to have the first public hearing, and September the 19th to have the second public hearing. So if we can approve those 2 dates and set the date, time, and location here, then we'll be set for those next 2 public hearings.
Is that the recommendation under item D?
Yes.
Record vote for the proposed tax?
Yes, correct.
Okay, I'll make the motion to approve those 2 dates.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Well, I guess 5A, B, C, and D were covered through this motion right now, so I don't believe there's
The only
any-
item that needed action was D, is that correct, Paul?
That's correct, to set the public hearings, that's correct. If I may, I'll move to item 6. Okay. Discussion on Dow County Drainage System projects, maintenance, and operations. Item A is West Main Drain Control Structure. It's another control structure that was part of the bond issuance 2012, and that one's fully completed back in 2015. We invested $186,000 in that project, so that's already in place. Monte Cristo Drain Control Structure. This was another project, also in the bond project, and originally this project was consulted out, but the district took over and redesigned it and installed the ultimate design control structure there based on the study we had for that Monte Cristo JO2, we call JO2 drain. We put in triple 10x7 boxes in there, and that's fully constructed through district forces, and it's 100% complete. So we're done with that project, which is another bond project. Item 6C, West North Lateral Control Structure, another control structure on one of our laterals leads to our main drain, and that one's fully constructed as well. It's another bond project, so we've gotten that one taken care of. And the last item, 6D, would be the FEMA meeting we had on August 3rd, a couple weeks ago. We went up to Denton, myself, Mr. Salazar, and Jorge Gonzalez, one of my licensed engineers from the staff engineers. I met with Mr. Larry Boyce, Mr. Cedric Clark, and Jerry Clark from FEMA. We also had on conference call, we had IBWC, Mr. Nunez, which is the principal engineer for IBWC. We had Patinair Unikikshna. I hope I pronounced his name right. He's a licensed engineer. He's one of the hydraulic engineers there. Isela Canava, Apura Bora, and Dr. Reddy from IBWC. And then we had some congressman staffers, Jose Borjon, Luis Benson, Jorge Galindo, and Desi Romero at the conference, at the meeting, to discuss this accreditation issue that we're having with the levies and the certification. IBWC is working on the certification of the levies already that have been constructed. There's a few areas that they're working on right now to shore up so they can finally certify all the levies. And then the next step is going to be for the district to look at taking that data and generating data on the land side to submit to FEMA for evaluation so we can finally get the levies accredited. So it's a 2-step process. IBWC is doing the certification on the water side, and the district's going to have to perform some duties, partner with the cities and so forth to submit the package to FEMA so it can finally be fully reviewed. I anticipate probably 2 years from now this taking place because IBWC is still working on some areas that they're shoring up. For example, Penitas Pump House is about to go to construction. We still have the other areas in Irrigation District Number 2 that they're working with. So until all those get shored up, we really won't have a complete package from IBWC to submit to FEMA. But it gives us time to start planning our efforts to evaluate our system that ties into the floodway to do the landside evaluations to submit to FEMA. So
When do you plan on starting that evaluation or hiring somebody to do it?
we're going to probably transition that this coming year, Commissioner. I'm not going to wait till the end. I'm going to transition into next year, so we have plenty of time to evaluate, because we have to evaluate all our channels that come into the IBWC. We have to get with the cities as well and evaluate the channels that they have going into their into the IBWC, because what they want to see is a normal operation. Gates open, and then the type of effect a 100-year event has on our area on our system, and then also 50, 25, and so forth, and see what kind of effect it will have having the water coming into the IBWC floodway. So, yes, sir, it was a great discussion, because that was one of the key points of discussion was, do we evaluate our system with gates closed, where we have to pump, or gates open, where we have the gravity flow? And the determination, or coming from the meeting, was Mr. Voice and Mr. Clark, basically is normal operation, which for us would be gates open. So that was a big one there.
Raul, when you do the land site evaluation, did they agree to partner, or at least to go through the process, at least your submittals, so that you can assure that we're on the right track? I know 2 years is a bit of time, but are they going to make themselves available to review as we're preparing our documents?
Yeah, it seems like they've changed their approach from the last meetings that we've had with them. This meeting, to me, was very positive. They were very receptive, and one of the big questions that we had for them was the time frame. Let's say IBWC finishes. How much time do we have? He said, well, as long as you're evaluating your system and you're submitting data and producing data that we see you're working towards the package that we need, we're going to give you plenty of time. We're not going to give you 10 years, but we'll give you the year or whatever you need, which what I anticipate taking to get all this put together. So,
when's your next follow-up meeting with FEMA?
We'll probably try to schedule something, I'm thinking by the end of the year, Commissioner. We're trying to get everything put together that we currently have. We have certain models already generated for our system, but we're evaluating right now. We're looking at doing some in-house work initially, and then outsourcing some of it or most of it. But we want to evaluate what we currently have available, so we're in a better position. So when we go out and do our RFQs or get consultants on, we know exactly what our task is going to be. So, and by then we'll be in a better position to visit with them. But like I said, I don't think anything will happen yet, obviously, until IBWC shores up their area. But we're in contact with both IBWC and FEMA on this, because it's a very important issue for our area. So, okay. We'll keep the board informed, and next meeting we'll definitely extend invitations to any of the board members that would like to attend the meeting and sit in. But it was a very productive meeting. Okay. Great. Thank you. Item 7, if I may. Requesting approval of closing documents for Parcel 11 as it relates to Cesar Chavez Drain Project Phase 2, and authority of the chairman of the board to execute documents.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 8, requesting approval of closing documents for Parcel 7 as it relates to Cesar Chavez Drain Phase 2, and authority of the chairman of the board to execute documents pending final legal review.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 9, I'll read A through E, if I may. It's same project. Requesting approval of closing documents for Parcel 8 as it relates to Cesar Chavez Drain Phase 2, and authority of the chairman of the board to execute documents pending final review. Requesting approval of Parcel 9. Requesting approval of Parcel 10, requesting approval of Parcel 18, and requesting approval of Parcel 21, all of the Cesar Chavez Drain Phase 2 project, and authority for the chairman of the board to execute documents pending final legal review.
Move for approval on A through E.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 10, requesting approval to rescind action taken on February 21st, 17, agenda item number 58605B relating to donation deed from STT Land Company Ltd, a 50-foot drainage easement as it relates to Military Road outfall project.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item B, requesting acceptance and approval of donation deed from STT Land Company Ltd. by its general partner, South Texas Turf Management Trust, Hector Guerra Jr., as it relates to Military Road outfall project pending final legal review.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries.
10C, requesting acceptance and approval of drainage easement document from STT Land Company Ltd. by its general partner, South Texas Turf Management Trust, Hector Guerra Jr., as it relates to Military Road outfall project pending final legal review.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. Item 11, requesting acceptance and approval of donation deed from Sandoval Development LP as it relates to the Sunset Valley Phase 4 development and the South Down Drain Ditch pending final legal review.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 12, requesting approval of interlocal corporation agreement with City of Mission as it relates to the Pettisville drain. Subject to final legal review.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. Item 13, requesting approval of interlocal corporation agreement with the Al County Irrigation District Number 5 as it relates to maintenance of existing drainage systems, subject to final legal review.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 14, approval to issue payment on the following items. Invoice PP 1/6/10/2017, in the amount of $117,638.32 from Dow County Precinct 4 for reimbursement of labor, machine hours, and fuel related to construction of the J09 project, pay periods 6 through 10 of 2017. Project Engineer Test Infrastructure Group.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 15, approval of application of payment number 1 in the amount of $163,581.75 from Texas Cordia Construction, LLC, pertaining to construction contract number ACDD 1-17-015-0418, Precinct 1, mile 13.5, and FM 1015 area drainage improvement, Phase 2 and 3. Urban Infrastructure Group, engineer.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
16, requesting approval for a 15-foot North Alamo Water Supply Corporation easement as it relates to ACDD 1 property ID 1051981 and authority for the chairman of the board to execute documents pending final legal review.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
17, acceptance and approval of grant between Texas Water Development Board and the Al County Drainage District Number 1 for a $4.5 million grant. Texas Water Development Board grant number G1000667 pursuant to rider number 27 of the General Appropriations Act. This is one of the trips that we made this past week to receive Commissioner Palacios.
Yeah, if I may comment, Judge, Commissioners.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
It's a very monumental day for us last week. I went up there representing the court. Texas Water Development Board, first of all, I want to acknowledge the hard work of our Senator Chuy Hinojosa, who fought for a rider in a bill that allowed us to capture some of the unspent funds. I also want to give commendation to our Valley delegation. I see Terry Canales here in the audience, and they're always fighting for South Texas. They're always fighting for Hidalgo County, and in this case, we've been beneficiaries of $4.5 million. I also want to, this isn't the first allotment that we've been able to garner. They gave us $5 million previously to advance the Raymondville Drain project. So currently we have $9.5 million that's been garnered by state funds. We also worked on some Restore Act funding coming from the federal government, $7 million. So we're up to about $16.5 million of non-local dollars to advance this project. The most significant part of the $4.5 million is that we're actually going to construction now. We're starting in Fayetteville, and we're going to go ahead and start constructing up to the outfall. My motion will be obviously the approval, but obviously with the condition that most of those funds go to construction. It's time to turn dirt, and with what happened in 2015 in Fayetteville, on the northern part, more urbanized area, they were heavily impacted. So I know the attempt is that the drainage, as well as some of the crews throughout the precincts, will assist in the construction. So we're going to stretch every dollar that we're receiving on the state level. The greatest news is the chairman at that point. The rider is going to revolve itself. So every year we're going to be able to garner a little more state funds every single year if there's some unspent monies. So it's a great thing. It's a great thing for Hidalgo County. It's a great thing for our area. The ultimate beneficiaries are going to be our friends on the east side as well. The more we construct it and the more we divert water, the more the systems that are in their neighborhoods, which are obviously in the lower lying areas, will have capacity to drain into our main drain. So we're excited. It's great news for us, and I'd like to make a motion for approval, obviously with the condition that most of those funds are used for construction.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
17.
Hold on one second.
Yes, sir, of
I
course.
want to say thank you, because it does have a direct and indirect impact for all of us.
Yes, sir.
Most especially, the concerns that Lupe is bringing up, and then
Yeah.
we have a lot of representation from Precinct 1 today. This is huge, so thank you, Joseph, for leading the charge. Thank you to Mr. Cecine for going up there and doing that. I mean,
Yes,
I express how grateful we are for this opportunity to be able to see the improvements that we need so desperately in drainage. So thank you guys for your efforts.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Canales, also for representing us up there.
Thank you, Commissioner. Item 17B, approval and authorization for Chairman of the Board of Directors to execute the district's authorized representative agreement execution resolution for Texas Water Development Board.
Move for approval.
Second.
All right.
We have a motion and a second, Judge.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 18, in accordance with Water Section Code 49057 and Subchapter A of Government Code Section 2254, requesting approval to select and award the firm of Locke Lord LLP, attorneys and counselors for the provisions of professional legal services representation, specifically Gardner paid as special counsel to Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1, in connection with 2012 bond election and bond resolution, and acceptance of approval of letter of engagement.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
We do have some items on executive session.
Pursuant to 551, 071, and 072 of the Texas Government Code, need a motion to proceed to
So moved.
executive session.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We're going to be in executive session for a short while. We're going to convene our regular meeting of the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court, posted for today, August 22nd, 2017. Present are Commissioner Fuentes, Precinct 1, Commissioner Cantu, Precinct 2, Commissioner Palacios, Precinct 4, and myself. We have a quorum. Please join us in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty God, we come together today for the good of the citizens of Hidalgo County. Give us your wisdom as we make decisions that will affect them today and in the years to come. Help us to work well together, recognizing that each of us are here because we want what's best for Hidalgo County. And Lord, please bless all of the people who are ill or suffering, and we ask for your healing, and we ask your blessing and your guidance. In your name we pray. Amen.
Any concerns with our consent agenda?
There are a couple of concerns, Judge, Commissioners, and for the record, let me read out, single out. If we could approve the consent agenda, and Commissioner Fuentes will be abstaining from consent agenda item 10B, 10C, and 10D. And if we could approve the balance of the consent agenda, except for consent agenda item 3R and consent agenda item 11I.
Make a motion to that effect.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
3R is an interdepartmental transfer.
No action.
So, yeah, we're taking no action on item 3R, and Marty, you'll address item 11I.
Yes. On 11I, we are just making a correction to the caption. This caption should read, approval to exercise the county's option to extend for the 60-day grace period extension, not the 1 year. It's a 60-day grace period extension under contract number 176, El Hoist North America, Lime Road Material and Services, under the same rates, terms, and conditions while we do the procurement process. There is no 1 year extension. I would recommend approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And it's approval with that correction.
Okay.
Thank you.
And the Judge Commissioner's final action is if the court can now take action on item 10B, 10C, and 10D of the consent agenda.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Judge Commissioners, under consent agenda, there was one clarification, so we do need to address one thing. Ms. Norma, what check number did you want subject to clarification as part of the action item?
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Yes, check number 459406 in the amount of $963.70. We need some clarification on that before we disperse.
Okay.
And I understand that I should have something by the end of the week.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to approve it subject to or bring it back at the next run.
I would bring it back.
Mr. Craig?
I'd recommend you bring that back.
Okay, so then the action, then can we, again, under the consent agenda item, just for the record, Judge, Commissioners, could we, subject to that?
On the check register to remove that one check.
Right.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 5A, update on the upcoming launch of the e-library program.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Julia Benita Sullivan, Public Affairs Director. With us today to provide the update is Arnaldo Becco. He's with the Hidalgo County Library System. He's the board secretary, and he's got some exciting news coming up. Arnaldo?
Thank you all for the opportunity to talk to you all a little bit about the electronic library today, about our electronic library. Thank you all for the support, as always. I really feel very grateful that you all have taken strong action toward making our community more literate, more educated, more happy, and more prosperous. We're all set to go. Implementation has pretty much completed. We have folks signing up for the test database, and things are working there. So we really have no issues as far as implementation goes. We are doing a lot of marketing right now on social media through county offices, through city offices, and through community offices. We're trying to get the word out regarding the program. And today, mainly, I'd like to invite you all to the kickoff event that we have on August 31st at 11 a.m. here in this room. We plan on using this event to get the word out regarding the library, to get the community involved and educated regarding the initiative. We also plan to sign up folks for the database and for the library, and we plan to give away 4 tablet computers for individuals that do sign up that day. So for all the individuals here and all the individuals listening at home, we hope you're able to make it to that event on August 31st and at 11 a.m. here in this building, in this room. And commissioners, we hope that you all can make it. County Judge, we hope you all can make it. Again, thank you for all your support. And if you all have any questions right now, I'd be very happy to answer them.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you all on August 31st.
Thank you, sir. All right, our next item is item 5B. It's a discussion and approval of our resolution opposing Senate Bill 4. Before we proceed, our district attorney has requested that we discuss a portion of this matter, or I guess this matter, in executive session. Some items he wants to discuss with us. And I would like to add that we have some lawyers here from out of town that are here on item number we have a long agenda today.
There's a 31D, Judge, posted on the litigation on opioids?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'd like to take up those two matters, the matter involving the attorneys and the opioid litigation and the SB4 in executive session. So at this time, pursuant to 551, 071, and 072, I would entertain a motion to proceed to executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right, we are back in open session. And there were two items that we took up in executive session. The first one was SB4, which we're going to be proceeding with at this point. But I wanted to announce that on the second item related to the opioid litigation, that what we have decided to do is, I think the lawyer's already left.
Judge, for the record, you're bringing this up under open session, correct?
Yes.
After closed session, okay.
And what we have decided to do is to wait until our next meeting and make a decision at that time.
Just no action. And also, just for the record, Commissioner Fuentes abstained from discussion in closed session on that issue.
I've duly noted that, and this, for the record, Commissioner Fuentes was not present during that discussion. And so, Judge, under open session 31D would be the no action. Is that correct, Mr. Crane?
That's correct.
All right, then let's proceed with item 5B, discussion and approval of resolution opposing Senate Bill 4. What we have are different parties that desire to make presentations. We have limited it to a total of a maximum of 30 minutes, and at this point we'd like to proceed and on that particular item.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Ramona Casas de la organización Arise. Gracias, señor juez García, por recibirnos y comisionados por permitirnos este espacio. Soy representante de Arise, también de la Red de Voces Unidas, y a la misma vez formamos parte de la Alianza de Texas de Reforma Migratoria RITA. Y la razón que estamos en esta mañana aquí es para traerles las preocupaciones de todo el condado Hidalgo, de los residentes de esta área, sobre esta ley, la SB4, ya que sabemos que esta ley perjudicaría mucho la vida de cada residente de aquí de la región, pero también de todo el estado de Texas. Estamos aquí trayéndole las preocupaciones de cada uno de nosotros como organización, como red, como representantes de iglesias que están aquí también, y como maestros de escuela, de universidad, y doctores que también ellos han observado el cómo esta ley ha afectado la salud de la vida diaria de niños y padres de familia. He pasado un paquete con información para ustedes que ya tienen ahí. Me voy a referir a varios de esos documentos que les he puesto ahí para su información. Y lo que tenemos en este paquete es una lista de las ciudades. Sí, ese paquete, juez. Ajá. Ahí tenemos una lista de las ciudades que ya han hecho un voto para una resolución en contra de la SB4. Tenemos 5 ciudades del estado de Texas, que son Austin, Dallas, San Antonio, Houston, McAllen, Cenizo, Laredo, El Paso, Rio Grande City, Panview y la ciudad de La Joya. También a la misma vez tenemos condados que han estado haciendo también esta resolución, como el condado Travis, El Paso, Cameron, Bixar County, en McBury County y Dallas County. También hemos estado teniendo el apoyo de algunos oficiales de departamento de policía, que son 11, y es de San Antonio, de Austin, de Arlington, de Dallas, de Fort Worth, de Houston, y también el Jane McAllen, Chief of Police Retired for General Counsel, director ejecutivo, al igual que Cherry Valdez, en Sally Hernández, y también de otros 2 que tenemos anotados como Mario Hernández. Esta preocupación que traemos aquí son 2 peticiones que venimos a hacerles, ya que como condado sabemos que ustedes siempre están protegiendo la comunidad, y la preocupación es que quisiéramos que esta ley no se implementara. Hay 2 acciones que quisiéramos que ustedes pudieran apoyarnos. Una es la resolución como condado Hidalgo, y la otra es el apoyo con Amicus Brief, que sería apoyo amistoso de la Corte para que esta ley no se implementara. A través de esta presentación que tenemos para ustedes, los representantes de la comunidad y los diferentes personas que vamos a estar hablando, vamos a hacerles saber sobre cómo afectarían el empleo
y también en la economía, cómo la gente se afectaría grandemente si esta ley se implementara. Por lo tanto, esperamos de ustedes que esta ley no tiene que pasar, Texas no tiene que tener esta ley tan costosa y que afectaría mucho nuestras vidas. Por lo tanto, esperamos su apoyo en una resolución y también que ustedes puedan ser amigos de corte con el Amicus Brief, y agradecemos mucho el que estén escuchando nuestros comentarios. No queremos ver a un Texas inseguro, queremos ver a un Texas seguro. Yes. I want to go and do a brief in English. My name is Ramona Casas from Arise, and also part of the Eco Voice Network in the Rio Grande Valley. And we are part of the RITA, the Alliance for Immigration Reform. And we here to inform you how we be affected by the law, by this Senator Bill SB4. And if this law is implementing, they be affecting a lot the daily life of the residents of the Hidalgo County. That's why we had 2 petitions for you as a Hidalgo County court to make the resolution and also be part of the Friends of the Court Amicus Brief, and to prevent to this law be implementing. We're so grateful for you to listen us this morning in this presentation, and we want to let you know this law they be affecting the daily life of the residents of the whole state, but also the Hidalgo County residents, and the jobs and the ways how we be affecting in taxes, and also how we be affecting to pressing the students and putting out from the universities with this law, and we be in disadvantage to the other states. Thank you for receiving us, and we have another speaker to presenting. Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am. I believe the next presenter is Ana Gonzalez.
Ready? If you're speaking, please be ready to speak when you're over here. We have our loudspeakers here.
Buenos días, señor juez y comisionados. Gracias por su tiempo. Mi nombre es Ana María González. Estamos aquí abogando por la ley SB4, la cual es una ley antiinmigrante que nos va a afectar en lo personal y a mi comunidad. Nos va a afectar en vivir con miedo a división de familias, miedo en ir al trabajo, a las escuelas y en cumplir sueños y metas en nuestros hijos con sus estudios. También nos afectaría en la economía. Esperamos que se unan, contar con su apoyo y nos ayuden como comunidad. Gracias.
Good morning. My name is Ana Yancy, and I'm going to translate. Good morning, Commissioners and Judge. Thank you for your time. We are here advocating for the law SB4 that will be effective of September the 1st. It's a law anti-immigrant that will be it will affect my community in economic, and afraid of, also on division of families, afraid of going to work, on our ways to school, and also of not meeting our goals and dreams in our children. We hope that you will support and help us as community. Thank you.
And according to my list that you provided to me, your next presenter is Dr. Kevin Peak.
Good morning. I'd like to begin by thanking you for taking the time to host these hearings on what's proving to be a very contentious and disputatious issue. And I also want to thank you for giving me an opportunity to identify what I consider to be the most negative economic impacts that will be engendered through the implementation of SB4. I'll be as brief as possible given the 5 minutes that I have, and if I speak too quickly, just throw something at me or whatever comes to mind. So let's take a minute to look at some of the negative economic impacts that we'll see as a consequence of implementing this measure. The first, the one that I think that most of us are probably most familiar with, is that very quickly we're going to see sectional structural dislocation. We're going to see dislocation in the labor market. As we speak, approximately 8.5% of the workforce in Texas consists of undocumented workers. In some industries, those numbers are even greater. In agriculture, in hospitality, in construction, approximately 25% of the workforce consists of undocumented workers. When you remove those workers overnight, there are dramatic consequences, not only for those workers but also for industry. What we're going to see is a situation where industry, the aforementioned groups in particular, are going to have to very quickly find people to replace in those positions. And they'll be doing so in a climate that, as a consequence of the implementation of SB 4, is much more economically dire than otherwise would be the case. It'll be a climate where we have labor shortage. It'll be a climate where wages have increased. And it's going to be a climate where it's extremely difficult to fill those positions that are lost. So the first negative consequence of the implementation of SB 4, as mentioned, is going to be this kind of sectional structural dislocation, this job loss. The second consequence is going to be a very quick and dramatic impact on aggregate demand. What is aggregate demand and why is it important? Aggregate demand, really in a monetary sense, is the market value, if you will, of all the goods and services that we demand in society, of all the goods and services that we're purchasing. It's a general axiom among economists that when aggregate demand is increasing gradually from year to year, when we're buying more goods and services, the economy is healthy, it's prosperous, and it moves forward. And you have to think about the logic. If we're buying goods and services, companies are responding by hiring workers to supply those goods and services. They're paying those workers, they're increasing wages. Those workers take that revenue, they then buy goods and services from other companies. Those companies respond by hiring other workers to make goods and services, and the process becomes somewhat self-perpetuating. So the idea here is that when we have aggregate demand, when we're buying goods and services, it moves our economy forward. Conversely, however, when we have a reduction in aggregate demand, when we see that there's a reduction in the amount of goods and services that are being demanded, a reduction in the amount of goods and services that are being purchased, companies begin to contract. Take any company, specifically maybe an automotive company. We stop buying goods and services from that company because there's reduced aggregate demand. They have to lay off workers. Those workers buy fewer goods and services from other companies. Those companies also have to lay off workers. The private sector observes what's occurring, and they begin to contract and they begin to cut back on production. What we know is that when there's a reduction in aggregate demand, it can lead to some devastating consequences. If you look at the Great Depression of the 1920s, this of course was initiated in the banking sector, but the consequent reduction in aggregate demand perpetuated that Great Depression. If we look at the Great Recession of 2007, the reduction in aggregate demand also became self-perpetuating, and it caused that recession to go on much longer than otherwise should have been the case. So, once again, sorry about speaking so quickly, but in 5 minutes I want to get as much across as possible. First consequence of implementing this measure is going to be labor dislocation. We're going to see between 165,000 and 248,000 people lose their jobs with the consequent negative effects. Secondly, we're going to see a reduction in aggregate demand. When we know that when aggregate demand falls, it can lead to recession and in some cases ongoing depression. That reduction in aggregate demand is going to be a direct result of that, the aforementioned labor loss. The third consequence that we're going to see is a reduction in gross domestic product. Gross domestic product, as you probably know, is the economic indicator that we use to measure the viability, the strength of an economy. Gross domestic product is technically defined as the market value of all goods and services that are produced in the economy in the space of 1 year. If we're going to eliminate up to 250,000 jobs, we're going to see a drastic and immediate reduction in gross domestic product. We're going to see less productivity, we're going to see less jobs being created, and we're going to see a negative ripple effect in the economy. As gross domestic product is falling, we're also going to see a consequent reduction in our tax base. And think about this very, very carefully. One, we're going to see reduced tax revenues flowing to the government because we've engendered significant unemployment. But secondly, as companies are producing fewer goods and services and they're beginning to contract, we're going to see a reduction in corporate income taxes. So as a consequence of reduced aggregate demand, we also have, it is projected to be a $13.8 billion reduction in taxes in the first year alone. So first three consequences, labor dislocation. reduction in aggregate demand, reduction in gross domestic product, and reduction in taxes. The fourth consequence that we're going to see is an increase in government outlays, largely in the form of social programs. If you have a situation where, as we have now, 2.7 million households have one or more undocumented workers residing in them, 1.2 million children are living in households with one or more undocumented workers. When you remove those undocumented workers or you remove their income, somebody has to step in to fill that gap. Somebody has to step in to provide housing assistance. Somebody has to step in to provide assistance for children and the others who are within those households. And invariably, it's going to be the government who steps in. So just in conclusion, and I know that I've said this a couple of times already, but if we implement this measure, job loss, reduction in aggregate demand, reduction in productivity, reduction in taxes flowing to the government, an increase in revenues flowing out of the government to provide for people who no longer have the adequate resources. All of this creates a perfect storm to engender a recession that could ultimately become a self-perpetuating and ongoing depression. Thank you for your time.
Dr. Peak was an economist, economics professor at STC. Our next presenter is Padre René Ángel. Father Ángel is a priest at the Iglesia Resurrección Católica de Álamo, a faith-based community church.
I'm here presenting the concern of all the bishops of Texas, led by Archbishop Gustavo Garcia in San Antonio and Cardinal DiNardo in Houston. All are united and single-minded and say this SB4 is just crushing the community. I was receiving the blessing of Bishop Flores from the Valley of Texas, representing the 89% of the population of the whole Valley of Texas. So it's, their voice is heavy, and they have the reason. Let me start my speech talking about Jesus himself. Jesus was the first illegal in history. When King Herod was trying to kill baby Jesus, they had to fly to Egypt, and they were crossing borders. They had no papers, no passport. There was no border patrol. Thank God. If no, they were killing baby Jesus at that time. The people that is crossing the border to over here is they are running away from violence, poverty, and hunger. They are looking for better ways of life and better ways for their own families. They are not vandals. They are not committing crimes or anything like that. Remember, it's important to remember that crossing without papers is not a criminal act. They are violating the law, but it's not a criminal act, and we can just judge them in the same way. With all respect, white people was coming from Europe. This is not their original country, with all respect. They were coming, at a certain point, I don't know if you are aware of this, there was banking in German, because people was not speaking English, as we are doing right now. They were having banking in German because they were coming from other countries and living in this country and taking possession of this country. What is the difference now? The banking is in Spanish. There is no difference in that. Let us then build bridges and not walls. We can think about what is going to happen in restaurants, construction, housekeeping, farm fields, car washes, landscaping, mechanics. It's going to happen what in the Bible happened to the Egyptians. They were saying, Israelites, go, we don't want you anymore, and they were leaving. After finding themselves that they had to do the hard job, they lost their slaves, and they were, well, just go and bring them back. And they went and tried to bring them back. God was defending them. They were sinking on the Red Sea. It was the finish. They couldn't bring them back, and it was the crashing of the Egyptian empire. We can think about the people here in the Valley of Texas and how much we are educating the people before implementing these laws. How much we are implementing educating the people, telling them that they have the right to remain silent. If somebody asking for papers, I recommend highly to everybody, if somebody asks you for papers, don't say a word. You have the right to remain silent. And second, education that we have to make is they don't have the law. The police doesn't have the right to go into your house if they don't have a search warrant. And we have to educate the people before thinking about implementing crazy laws. And for all this, we are just against it. We have to be in favor of the people, creating community of love and not destroying the economy. It's very sad to go to the mall right now because it's empty. No Mexicans are coming. They don't want to come. There's a lot of hatred here. They don't want to come. We want to collapse the economy in this valley of Texas and in this country. Let us kick out the people. Thank you.
Thank you. Next presenter is Mike Seifert on behalf of Dr. Marcia Griffin, a pediatrician and director of Community for Children, to talk on the negative health impacts of SB4 on young children and immigrant families.
And I am Dr. Griffith's husband, and she is sorry that she couldn't be here this morning. She had an emergency. The letter, August 22nd, 2017. My name is Marcia Griffin. I'm a longtime resident of the Rio Grande Valley and a pediatrician in Brownsville, Texas. For the last 10 years, I've had the privilege of caring for some of the most beautiful, brightest, and poorest children in the state. Most of these children are citizens of the United States. However, many live in mixed status family homes. Grandma or grandpa may not have their papers, but they are most certainly not criminals. They are our neighbors. In the past, the border was fluid like the river, with all of us traveling freely back and forth, enjoying family and friends on both sides of the border. Today, immigration status seems to matter more to those who do not live on the border than those of us who do. The Rio Grande Valley is a safe place where folks are respectful and appreciate, in most every case, the police department's long history of good relations with the community. The police that are doing parades and biking events and Friday night football games, they are friendly and helpful. All the residents of our city need to feel free to call the police when they need them. It is important for the safety of us all. As a pediatrician, I know the importance of the relationship between the police and the citizens. As in all communities, some families suffer from domestic violence. Victims need to be able to call the police when situations are escalating without the fear that the immigration status is the first thing the police will ask. We need the police to help settle heated dispute, manage traffic accidents, and save a child from abuse or neglect. I need to be able to call the police to my clinic, if need be, without worrying that the patients and families in the waiting room will be filled with fear and the urge to leave. Requiring police officers to take on the responsibility of immigration officers is demanding too much. They are peace officers, not immigration Gestapo. We are indeed a nation of laws, many laws. Physicians take an oath to care for our patients, all of our patients. That is our law. In the view of the law that guides my heart, my mind, and my hands in the pursuit of the best medical treatment for my patients, I cannot sit by quietly and abide a situation that will most certainly sicken my patients with fear about what may happen to their parents. In 2014, I and my colleagues, Dr. Minette Sun and Texas Senator Elliot Shapley, published an article in the medical journal Pediatrics, which is included in your packet, called Children's Lives on the Border, outlining how the increased militarization of our border is causing toxic stress in our children because of the fear of deportation and separation of families, which I submit today as background for the county commissioners. This level of toxic stress is associated with negative health outcomes and can lead to severe, lifelong health problems. I implore Hidalgo County to join me and all the other public entities that have opposed SB4 in protecting the health of the children along the border. Sincerely, Marcia Griffin, MD. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Our next presenter, Amber Arriaga Salinas. On behalf of Ann Cass, the Executive Director of Proyecto Azteca, on the SB4 Social Impact on Colonia Families.
Good morning, Commissioners. I am Amber Arriaga Salinas with Proyecto Azteca. I'm here representing our Executive Director, Ms. Ann Williams Cass. SB4 is a law that has affected our community tremendously. The sheer rhetoric of Senate Bill 4 has increased the anxiety and fear in our communities. We have reports from our network partners that children are afraid to go to school. Their parents are afraid to take them. Individuals of all ages are missing their doctor's appointments. Our federally qualified health clinics are losing patients. People are even afraid to go to the grocery store. Anxiety is increasing. Our community's health is deteriorating. Our businesses are losing money. As we look forward, what we find very concerning is the upcoming census count. If the community is afraid to go buy a gallon of milk, the likeliness of them answering the door to someone who's there to do the census count is extremely doubtful. Being that the budget proposals that we have seen coming out of Washington show slashes that everyone in our community will feel, we understand and know that Hidalgo County stands to lose millions of dollars for health care, education, job creation, transportation, new schools, new roads. Every single project that our esteemed court has planned and hoped to develop for the people of Hidalgo County will be on the chopping block if we allow the fear of Senate Bill 4 to push individuals in our county to be forced to hide in the shadows. We cannot afford to be undercounted even more than we already have in the past. In 2000, the U.S. Census Monitoring Board pointed out that in Georgia, a total of only 122,980 people went uncounted, and by 2012, Georgia had seen a cut of $208.8 million. We work hard for our families. We pay taxes. We are a thriving and resilient county. We urge you to support those in our community who currently fear that their only choice is to become invisible. Fear of a law that was created by those who do not live here, who do not work here, cannot dictate the growth and strength of our families, of our county. As my colleagues before me have said, we urge you to pass this resolution opposing SB4. Thank you.
Next presenter is Pastora Dino Tuttle.
Pastor.
I'm sorry, sir. They've typed it in wrong. They put an A in it.
Okay. Judge and Commissioners, here's the thing. I'm here on behalf of the Iglesia Apostólica de Álamo, y también we're urging you to pass a resolution, even though it would just be symbolic, that no, what do I get? Oh, okay, I see. Okay. This would not be the first time that the United States has initiated a Trail of Tears. In 1836, under President Jackson, they did it. They drove the Cherokees from their home to Oklahoma. Our church is asking that there be no more children crying for their fathers, and I've seen it. I've been. I've seen little boys seeing their father taken away and crying. My heart breaks for them. A 5-year-old with a father ripped from his home. We have 5 families in our church that the mother and all of the children, up to 8 children, are U.S. citizens. And the father, because he came at 17 or 18 years old, came to this country, probably just on a something new to do. He came to this country. Well, at that age, se enamoran. They fall in love and they get married and they have children. And the mother can't make a petition for him because if they send him to Ciudad Juarez, he'll be prevented from coming back for 10 years while his children are growing up. If he goes to Harlingen, they'll arrest him and throw him out for 10 years. That's not right. Teenagers need guidance from the father. We don't want teenagers, without guidance from their fathers because the father's taillight was out and the police stopped them. They need to know we need to enforce, make sure that the police know that it's not obligatory that they ask for papers. So anyway, that we don't want our families ripped apart. Results, well, the other people have spoken about the results, but I see, because I work as a substitute in the schools, I worked for the Department of Health and Human Services for 19 years, dealing with many immigrants, and I worked as minister to youth for 57 years, and I've been ordained for 32 years, dealing with immigrant people, all the time dealing with immigrant people. Schools would close. Many HEBs would probably have to close. Apartments would be vacant. Home prices would plummet, and many industries would lack workers. One employer I heard talking on the TV saying he had to hire immigrant workers because he could not get any person that was without work authorization to work, and he was offering them $23 an hour. So one thing we do not want our families destroyed. We do not want the breadwinners taken away. And please, Hidalgo County, please go on record that you're opposed to SB 4, even though it would probably be laughed at and counted as symbolic. That's, we're asking that you do that. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, sir. We have two more presenters. Miriam Cepeda.
Yes, hi, good morning, or is it almost good afternoon? First, I'd like to say that, sadly, SB 4, the fear rhetoric has been inculcated by organizations that oppose it. And I say this because organizations such as Lupe and LULAC, I support their efforts, but I don't condone what they're doing within their community as far as instilling fear within the immigrant population that doesn't understand English. And also, I can bet you that here within this room, over 90% or even 95 or 99% of people have not read SB 4. So I would like to ask for people or for Hidalgo County to consider reading SB 4 and discussing about the issues that the police officers are opposed on discriminating residents, as well as inculcating or educating the public in public awareness on SB 4. And I say this because LULAC and Lupe have dispersed information saying driving while brown, being arrested for being a witness. If you look at SB 4, which I have done my research, it specifically states that it is prohibited for the police officer or any local law agency to discriminate. And also, if you are a witness, you will be in security because a police officer is prohibited to ask for your status unless if it's for their safety. And to add to this, why are we even having this on the agenda? The reason why I say this is because we have 3 other items on this agenda that regards to local border security program, where the Hidalgo County is asking over $300,000 from the state of Texas Department of Public Safety. In addition, in my discussions with the McAllen Police Department and the Sheriff's Department, we already are in compliance with SB4. To add to that, if you look at the statistics of Texas DPS, Hidalgo County and Starr County are the highest in criminal illegal activity. SB4 is not mandating police officers to ask for people's status. It is just not condemning for them to ask for our safety and our benefit for our future.
And the last presenter is Vern McClarty.
Yes. First thing I would like to ask, which law can I break? I don't think the feds would be very happy if I rob a bank. Speeding. Every one of these officers back here would be thrilled to death to give me a ticket. Running red lights. I want to know which law I can break that would be okay. And y'all will come up and do a resolution that you're going to back that one. And also, the priest just told people not to give papers and show your papers when you get pulled over. So my question is, when I get pulled over, by law, I have to give them my driver's license, and if I have my gun, I have to give them my gun permit. So y'all are saying we don't have to do that? That's A-OK? So like I said, and it talked about, the priest was talking, God said to obey the laws of the land. And Jesus went back to his homeland to sign up for his taxes and whatever. And so we're kind of concerned about that. I mean, God tells you one thing. He says, follow the laws. And then we're supposed to be beneath y'all. And I have a rough time sometimes with y'all, but the Bible says we have to. I also looked up, it shows counties with the highest rate of child poverty, 30% or more. Guess which county is really high? And I have pictures for y'all. The very bottom, which is Hidalgo County, is over 45% or more of the children are in poverty. Y'all want to do something, the people that are here today? Why don't y'all stand up and say, let's do something for the poor children? You talked about no schools. I have yet to see a school go down yet. We're constantly billing them. It's my most expensive tax that we have. I also found, here it says Texas Colonias, and it showed pictures of these horrible houses. Now, I used to live in one, not this bad, but a little 3-room house, no running water and stuff. But why aren't y'all concerned about this? I don't understand why y'all are not concerned about this. This is where our children, the little guys and things that we are the highest rate is in Hidalgo County. And then you're telling these people, oh, it's okay, we're going back to you don't have to abide by the law. And as Miriam was said, read the law and see what it actually says. And like I say, if you can tell one group of people you don't have to follow the law of the state of Texas or of the country, I want a law that the rest of us don't have to follow. Thank you.
Commissioners,
Judge, just out of prudence, I actually had two other names. I don't know if you had them. Norma Aldape and Osvaldo Lopez. Did they?
They're not here.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
I'm sorry. We were told they were not going to speak. Are you going to speak?
Are they here?
Yeah.
Norma's here.
Okay, just want to make sure because I had them on this list.
Osvaldo's not here.
Okay, so Osvaldo's not here, but we do have Ms. Aldape? Okay.
Buenos días, casi tardes. Yo vengo a pedir su apoyo para esta ley SB4. Hablamos de tantos economía va a afectar y va a afectar también en la pobreza, como lo hemos mencionado. Como madre, yo estoy de acuerdo con esta ley y que en contra de esta ley, perdón, y que no apoyen esta ley porque es muy dañina para la comunidad. Y no nada más para la gente inmigrante, sino para también gente con estatus migratorio, porque solamente con ver tu cara te van a parar. Esta ley es una ley antirracista, y si en nuestras oficinas que vamos siempre nos dicen, si sientes que eres discriminado, firma y manda esta ley, manda esto, donde estás discriminado. Y no sería nada más inmigrantes, sería otra gente que también están discriminando por solamente ver su cara, que no es güera. Y esto no es bueno para nuestras comunidades. Al parar, el policía va a tener el derecho de pararnos y si no demuestras que eres una persona con estatus legal, te van a deportar y va a haber separación de familias. Y estos niños se van a quedar sin padres en este país. Afectaría mucho. Les pido por favor que piensen bien en sus comunidades en las que ustedes están a cargo de esos lugares y piensen qué tanto daño afectaría a las comunidades en todo tipo. Gracias.
My name is Norma Aldape, and I'm as a mother. I wanted to ask you to support the resolution against SB4. It's going to affect the regular people like us, is not only the people undocumented immigrants, but also the people with regular status here, because just by looking at your face, they can ask you for papers. If we get stopped, we can be asked for papers, and that could be translated to deportations, and we will leave all these children without any parents. So think about the people that you represent, the lives in the communities you represent, and please support the resolution against SB4.
All right, Commissioners, are there any questions, any comments before we call it for a vote? If not, I will entertain a motion to approve a resolution opposing Senate Bill 4.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. What is this?
Would you all like to have a photo with
Oh, okay.
Please don't blow the pictures. They're going to be so
We'll be here till 5.
So, yeah, that was definitely a great Wow, that's awesome. That's great to know.
Si no pueden ver a ellas no se pueden ver a ustedes. So, position yourself so you
Yes. Is this what it's on wheels? Oh, watch it. Oh, well, there's the cord, Julia. The cord.
Is that good? Goodness.
Who do I give this out?
Okay, for your item next?
This is for item 1, and then this is for item 2.
A que se le miren los de la orilla para acá, porque no alcanzan a salir. Si pueden ponerse de ladito, más Ramona. Con permiso. I'm sorry. And then we'll do this. So you'll give me this for the second one.
Igualmente.
Yeah, well, I will. Yeah, the lawyer now.
Yes, when it's ready, we'll call you.
Sí, gracias a usted.
Gracias. Cuando está listo, vamos a hablar por teléfono. Y para, once it's signed and entered into the record. Let's wait the next item. This is for the next item coming up. This is for the next item coming
The guy? Yeah, he's still over there.
Order in the court!
All right, moving on to our next item. It's item under number 5C, discussion, consideration, and action on an order creating Precinct 5, Justice of the Peace, Place 1, and Precinct 5, Constable.
Yes, this, for the record, Jonathan Almanza, County Executive Director under the Hidalgo County Judge's Office, here presenting agenda item 5C, agenda item 61245.
All right, sir. Now, as I understand it, we have members of some elected officials from the Delta area here with us this morning. If you haven't, you would please step forward if you desire to be heard.
Judge, Commissioners, thank you for this opportunity. We understand you've been, this is something that's been brought back to your court several times. We are not very
name,
well.
Please, Commissioner?
Sir?
Your name, please.
My apologies. My name is Robert Escobar. I have the honor of serving as a city council member for the city of Elsa. I am accompanied by all our local communities. We have representatives, elected officials from La Villa, Ed Couch, Elsa, and some from Monte Alto. We have, this is an important issue for us. We have been trying, we're discussing this, of course, because clearly there's a certain amount of financial responsibility to establishing this precinct again. But above that, we leave the financial aspect to your budget workshops and calculations that you as your council have to decide. But we, as elected officials, we have concerns in regards to our population. Our areas are growing, and I have to say that our arguments were made by the individuals before us. I know Fern had a good number of numbers in regards to Hidalgo County being the highest in regards to the actions that are occurring, illegal activity occurring. We have a high amount of area that our local PD cannot cover. We have a lot of people out here. We're growing by leaps and bounds. We are simply asking the court to please consider that. We have a great many prospects. A lot more business is coming to town. We have a hospital that we're negotiating at the moment. We do need assistance. We do need help, and we do need it now. Unfortunately, this precinct was abolished several years ago, and for whatever reason they were abolished, understandably so. We are simply here to ask and beseech you to please see if you can look favorably on this item. It is very important for our entire community to establish a little bit stronger foothold and give the people that don't have a voice and don't have the protection. We live in the city, and within the city limits, we can protect our population. We have many concerns that some of these people don't wait 10 minutes, 15 minutes. They're waiting half an hour, 45 minutes to get somebody out there. We have had commitments from the sheriff of Hidalgo County. He does his best with what he has, but we're just too large. We really need this help. I ask your board to please look favorably on this issue, and what I'm going to do now is pass on the mic to our Ed Couch Mayor.
Good morning, Commissioners and Judge. For the record, I am Virginio Gonzalez, Mayor for the City of Ed Couch. Like Commissioner Escobar was stating, we're here on the behalf of the Del Sol area, which includes Ed Couch, Elsa, La Villa, Monte Alto, Hargill, and the low estimate simply serving around 40,000 residents in our county. We're just asking for a fair share of services. That includes services from our JP and our constables. We're stretched thin. We understand that this might turn into controversial. The way it ended the first time, it sort of turned into political. But the services are needed by our residents. So we strongly thank you for your consideration of this creation of JP number 5. We also want to thank our current JP from our precinct 1, and we understand that geographically he's having a hard time covering all the area that needs to be covered. So we're here just to thank you for listening to us, to our concerns, and hopefully this creation of JP can go through. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Good morning, members of the council members and the judge. My name is Jason Peña, for the record, Vice President of the School Board of Ed Couch-Elsa. Like the mayor from Ed Couch says, and Commissioner Escobar says, we're thankful that you guys have this on the agenda, and we're really hoping you guys take into consideration of opening this precinct. In the past and even now, we are one of the biggest areas in that precinct. Ed Couch, Elsa, La Villa, and Monte Alto. A lot of county elected officials will come over and look for our endorsements so we can help them. We do have one of the highest voter turnouts in our area. You know, and I speak on behalf of everybody in the Delta that we want our own identity. I think it's only fair for us to have that, to have our identity, because we're out there, you know, pushing for everybody when they ask us, and now we're asking for you guys to push for us. You know, geographically we are big. You know, we're talking about Ed Couch, La Villa, Monte Alto, but you're not considering Sunrise Hill, which is another area that's big. It's in itself. Colonias that are around in between cities. So if Walmart can come over to our area and invest into our area, I mean, why can't we have our own precinct? And with that said, hopefully you guys take into consideration and opening up this precinct for our community, for the Delta. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Judge.
Yes.
We also had Ms. Fern as a speaker.
Yes. Are we through? I know there's some other gentlemen standing. All right.
All right. First thing, these gentlemen, where is your constable? I believe that your precinct is precinct 1, and that's this whole thing right here. Do you see that? So why aren't you saying, where is my constable? Where's my JP? That's your JP. So my thing is, you're going to cut this in half. So half of this, why are we going to cut the salary of the JP precinct 1 and the constable over there? Because they're doing half of the job, all right? I also want to bring in, this is a gentleman that stole something off of my front porch, very personal for me. My dead mother gave me a thing that this gentleman stole. The Edinburgh police can't find him. My constable can't find him. Of course, I don't think he's heard about it. But so I want another constable, because obviously I'm not being protected. And my thing is, I can't believe that these men want to bring back a precinct, and I have the numbers here I have for you, but I'm afraid to approach y'all because someone will attack me. 2008, I see that Precinct 5 brought in $15,000. when the rest of them brought in 146, 182,000, 221,000. 9, they brought in $12,168.98. The rest of them brought in 121,000, 197,000, 230,000. The last year that we finally got rid of this one, and Precinct 1 was going to come in as the Lone Ranger and take over, they brought in $11,716.45. The rest of them brought anywhere from $100,000 to $135,000 to $212,000, $256,000. My thing is, why it never worked. The main thing they did was intimidate people. I went out to Elsa. We were invited to come out there, the Owls, to watch an election. The intimidation is unbelievable. I can't believe that y'all think that this is a wonderful thing. Make the precinct that's supposed to be doing it, Precinct 1, do their job, or cut them. Let's do away with Precinct 1 then. And my thing is, I have a text, and I understand you have a letter from my husband's relative from Hargill, and my thing is, Hargill should be in Precinct 4, because I drove in from Edinburgh, and there were 2 Precinct 4 constable cars out of North 281. I didn't see a Precinct 1 anywhere. So my thing is, and I have a text on my phone, and it says, we are concerned about tomorrow's Commissioner's Court. This is someone from your area, by the way. We believe creating a JP and a Precinct 5 would be detrimental to to the resources and to them. Please make Precinct 1 do their job. So this is what we're talking about. These men are all here. I guarantee you the intimidation for the people that live in Elsa, Edcouch, Monte Alto, we've seen it in the past, will come back again. And we've seen Wallow Bazan in the back here week after week after week. I certainly hope that he's not anticipating on y'all forming him, because he is a felon.
Commissioners, we have one more speaker if you all want to take one more speaker, unless the courts will want to take action already.
I wanted to read that letter that Ms. McClarity pointed out. It's a letter from Mr. Ray McClarity, who is addressing it to the court. It says, we as citizens of Hargill and the adjoining farming area are deeply concerned with a significant increase in theft here in our town and the surrounding farming area. Crops and home burglaries have increased significantly since the closure of the Elsa Precinct 5 Constable's Office. We are asking for you and the court to reconsider reopening the Elsa branch so that we have more help in patrolling this area. They were a tremendous help in the past years before the closure in helping patrol the area when there were no county units around. Presently, there is very little patrolling by the county in Hargill and the surrounding farming community. We hope that you will reconsider our request. Regards, Ray McClarity.
Judge, they're so wonderful. It was Precinct 4 that took care of them before, not Precinct 1 or Precinct 5.
You know, Ms. McClarity, I didn't interrupt you.
I didn't interrupt you. I was just trying to explain, because you brought in a relative.
Judge, if I may, I'd like to share a few comments, being the mere fact that I was here back in the day that this item was taken up. Back then, I was newly elected, was in office, and some of the decisions then were a little more political, more in nature in regards to the removal. Since then, looking at the Delta area, I've worked there as a chief of staff. I have family in the area. I appreciate all the elected officials that have come out for this item. But one of the biggest deals and we've talked about this in the past, we wanted to make sure that at the end of the day, and some of the speakers that spoke about cost, need, there's some on protection. One of the biggest issues that I thought we lost, and I've gotten testimonies from judges that handled the youth. We got a lot of at-risk children in the Delta area. We got a lot of need for, and that affects families. The loss of the Justice Center was probably one of the most profound issues that we found that we lost, and that's magistrating, that's being there in that community. I think that's one of the rude awakenings that I saw, along with law enforcement and all, but I thought that was a major, major issue. as we discussed the issue, I thought that the best thing to do was to also look at the financial aspect. We're in our second year of balancing a budget. We are reducing the tax rate this year. And here's the most important thing. It's not a question. If you go to all, and I appreciate Jonathan and the staff had done a very thorough analysis of all the different counties. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. Now, Hidalgo County is growing profoundly. We're going to see it in the next census. If you look at all the other counties, they do have, in fact, additional JP courts and constables, and they're tasked with the duty to take care of these issues in regards to increasing population and need. I also look at our geographical differences amongst precincts and cities, and the Delta area isn't growing like some of the cities where there's annexations like Edinburgh, McAllen, and Mission, and all these other areas where you're getting more police protection. I think that's an oversight on our part too, because our cities in the east, and they're not as growing as fast. So but their population continues to grow, so that becomes a real big issue for me as well. I wanted to make sure that I when addressing this issue, it was going to be very objective and subjective to a need. Not make a political decision. I stand here objective and subjective to the need. And I just thought that the profound issues are relevant enough to consider. We are in that period. Population will continue to grow, and it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. And I want to highlight that when. That when is now, because we're balancing a budget now. It's not a financial big undertaking. We're reducing the tax rate. We're giving back more than $3 million to our taxpayers this year. Big thing.
3.4 million.
3.4 million. Thank you, Judge. And the other thing is, we can, it's not a question of if, it's when. And I think I'm prepared at this moment to make a motion and be part of this effort and I appreciate Precinct 1. I know that it's a nominal approach. There's a minimal budget that's set in just to establish the office. I think going back on some of the arguments that were presented on this, what it was, I mean, at the end of the day, we're tasked with the duty to assure that we do our jobs as elected officials, and we got a system in place to assure that there's enough transparency and accountability, and we have to have faith in the future, regardless of where we've come and had problems in the past or whatever. But it's a good step, good faith-based step forward effort to try to make it work, and that's where I stand, Judge.
Commissioner, if I may, Sergio, can you come up here so that I can understand, I guess, the impact of moving this item forward in terms of number of employees, how much it's going to cost, comparisons to other precincts and so forth?
Morning, Judge. Morning, Commissioners.
I guess precinct 5 compared to the other precincts, is it being proposed to be being established at the same size, different budget?
My understanding from the proposal that was submitted previously was supposed to be a different size. Right now, Precinct 1 has a budget of roughly about 1.2. Precinct 2, Constable, has roughly about the same budget. And Precincts 3 and 4 have roughly about a $1.4 million budget. The way that this precinct was, I think, contemplated in one of the scenarios was that it would have 4 positions, the constable and I think 3 deputies. And I believe one of the deputies was supposed to be reassigned from Precinct 1. And that cost...
No, that's 2 deputies.
2 deputies? Okay, then that would be the scenario 2, where 2 deputies are reassigned. And the constable Precinct 5 would have a operating budget, net operating budget of roughly about $276,000, because roughly about $200,000 would be transferred over from Precinct 1 to Precinct 5.
So it's 476, but 200 of which is coming from the other precinct?
Correct.
Okay.
Right, and they were willing to allocate those resources in support of creation of this. So there is a reallocation of some of the resources, yes.
Now, by establishing that, we would have to establish as well the JP office. There, we would be having a cost of roughly about $335,000 a year.
That's by statute, though. That's not necessarily...
Yes, by statute. It's required. If you're going to have a constable, you would have to have, I believe, a JP office as well.
And that compared to the other JPs in the other precincts?
The other JPs, hold on real quick. The other JP's budget is roughly about 450,000 to 500,000, depending on the JP. So it's roughly about 450,000 per JP office. So this would be a little.
How many employees for JP5?
For the JP, we're looking at, I believe, 4 employees.
The JP and four employees.
I believe the JP would be included in,
Oh,
in the
okay.
4 employees. Yes.
And compared to one of the other precincts?
The other JP offices usually have roughly about 8 employees, including the JP.
Now, is there some shared,
I don't
some
believe
employees
so.
coming over?
With the justice of the peace, I don't remember that being negotiated out. I know that for the constable, because there, I mean, a lot of it was safety and security. You know, there was, and because when it was dissolved, there were some transfers of people from that precinct to precinct 1 constable. So I think in the original arrangement was, we'll just give those back as our contribution in support of this creation of precinct 5.
You know,
I don't think that would ever happen with the
Yeah,
justice of the peace.
and Commissioner, I think that's the strongest argument here is, you know, beyond law enforcement, but the Justice Center. You know, we got to put a price. I mean, to have a Justice Center is I think it's critical to any community. To have one there in that area with the lack of, especially the dramatic numbers of at-risk children and, you know, the ability to work with our court systems to ensure there's magistration there and all these other things that affect communities. I think that is the critical reason why I believe that we have to reconsider. I know dollars and cents, you know, one of the biggest arguments were, you know, money. In this case, nominal in nature, but the benefit that we get out of it is a safer community, a justice center on site. And I think that I hinge on those issues. I think when we look at our $200 million budget, I think it's a drop in the bucket for the benefit that we give community. And that's why I'm where I'm at.
And just so that you know, Commissioner, I'm not making this decision solely on financial. Because the item is one sentence long, I'm trying to understand the impact that it would have so that I can make an informed decision. You're going to say something, Commissioner.
Well,
Excuse me, Judge.
Yeah, go ahead,
You
Commissioner.
mentioned a letter from the community of Hargill, which doesn't have any elected officials other than school board members, so they're not represented here. And again, I'd like to echo what Commissioner Palacios said in thanking our elected officials because they are the representatives of their cities, whether it's at the school, at the city level. They have a good feel for what the community wants and what the community desires. And throughout the entire time that I've been in the Delta area for the last 2 years, every one of them talks about Precinct 5 and their need for these services that were taken away from them. But going back to Hargill, they don't have any elected officials. They've gotten to the point where they've had to organize themselves and come to our office and beg us, just like the letter says, that they've seen an increase in crime. They've seen a decrease in service to their communities, and they're so geographically separated from everybody else, along with the majority of the Delta area, which is geographically away from the majority of traffic traveling through the expressway, unlike other parts of the county. This is a population that is very proud of who they are. You know, where they desire to be represented the same as everybody else, and because of the inherent problems of location, they just haven't been well represented. And I'm telling you, when Hargill has to organize themselves, you know that there is a tremendous need out there.
Well, and I'm also of the opinion, well, first of all, we exist to provide service to our residents, the residents of our county, and the Delta area is a very unique part of our county. And they had this service for over 100 years before we acted as we did a few years ago. And the area is united. There's over 40 elected officials that are united in support of this request. They're on the ground. They're there. They understand the issues. And believe me, they're no different than any other part of our county. There's always disagreements on just about every issue. But on this one issue, the Delta area community is very united. They are telling us that they need us to provide them with this service, and I believe it would be an injustice to fail to do so.
Judge, I'd like to make a motion for approval.
Second.
Judge. Now let's take the this way? It is on the agenda listed as one.
Well, I think, first of all, if you do want to take this action, I think the first thing you have to do is you first have to create the precinct boundaries before you...
Which we've received, and it's part of the record.
Yeah,
but
what Steve is suggesting that we wait
till
12:15.
Okay.
And what time do you have, Commissioner?
We are 20 minutes away.
It's 5 till now.
5 till, I'm sorry. Yeah, 20 minutes.
All right, then we'll go ahead and wait. Gentlemen, we're gonna recess this portion of the agenda, and we're gonna proceed with the rest of the agenda. We'll get back to it at 12:15. There was an error made in the posting, a 3 instead of a 5, and we corrected it, but we had to amend it and file a new agenda, which we posted for 12:15. So we're going to go ahead and act accordingly.
Thank you, Commissioners. If there's anything else, that's all I have.
Did you have any questions regarding the cost or anything like that?
No, I think we've already covered that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sergio.
Judge, Commissioners, with your permission, Chief Saldana, we've got a noon conference call with respect to
Chief, are you going to tell us about Harvey?
I want to find out here in a little bit with the state.
19A is the agenda item the Chief needs to address, so maybe we can get to that conference call with respect to that impending storm. 19A, emergency management.
Good morning, Commissioner and Judge. Ricardo Saldaña, Emergency Management. Consider an approval of resolution supporting the Rio Grande Valley Equal Voice Network Housing Working Group effort to recertify ongoing issues with FEMA. The resolution is in support of the Rio Grande Valley Equal Voice Network Housing Working Group with FEMA efforts. I have a representative from the Equal Voice here.
The name is Abel Morales. I'm a member of the Equal Voice group, and I believe, and I know there's the issue of time, but nonetheless, I think what we're trying to address with the resolution is to acknowledge the deficiencies that were noted from the Dali disaster and the implementation of how FEMA performed their duties related to and resulting in the lawsuit, which acknowledged that they were major deficiencies. One of them being in particular that on the average, the denial rate here was about 50%, and in other parts of the country where they had comparable was 6%. And then I believe you all might have received the information as well, whereby it's noted that the Texas Rural Aid was able to successfully complete the process. There will be some families, hopefully, unnamed yet or is still going to be, is working through, but hopefully there'll be families maybe receiving about an average of $11,000 for those that were part of the suit and those that were delayed. But in reality, what we're trying to do is to acknowledge that we prefer not ourselves, Equal Voice, but all our partners, is also not end up being in trial all the time. We're trying to find an administrative solution to this. And we've already talked to our congressman because in reality, FEMA did not have any manual, any policies. There was no way to, if you had a grievance, the only grievance you could go right back to them and they could deny it. They had a high level of issues and deficiencies. So in reality, we're asking for your assistance to take this one step further and see if we can turn around and get them to the point of actually doing a manual, doing policies, doing procedures of what you asked for in transparencies and all other entities of government. If you have any other questions, I'll try to answer. But in reality, we're asking for your support for the resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Why don't you take this opportunity to tell the community about Harvey? Is it coming our way?
Currently, it got into the Yucatan. We don't know what direction it's going. The window has closed now. Yesterday they were predicting it was going to go in north of Tampico. Now it's come closer to us. Now that it's expanded a little further northwest towards the Houston area, back down to just south of the Rio Grande Valley. So depending on what impact it has, when they give us the update here at noon, I'll have a better idea. We had a briefing with all the senior staff members of all the precincts, giving them updates of what happened and for the preparation within our county. So with that said, the possibility of it impacting us is there with rain. If it does come in, it's going to be coming as a tropical storm or a Category 1 hurricane. But the biggest significant impact will be rain, with much needed rain. It's expected by Thursday, 40% increasing throughout Friday into Saturday, dissipating Saturday, and hopefully by Sunday it's all gone.
All right, thank you, Chief.
Yes, thank you, sir.
And let's move on to item number 6A, our tax office.
Judge, Commissioners, I believe you have the planning calendar in front of you. And if you go down to August 22nd, it's the meeting of governing body to discuss tax rate. If proposed tax rate will exceed the rollback rate or the effective tax rate, whichever is lower, take record vote and schedule public hearing. The second page is the benchmark of the effective tax rate. The effective tax rate is 0.5925. Last year's tax rate was 0.59, and this year's rollback tax rate is 0.6295. So as long as you can adopt a tax rate less than 52.95, we don't have to have those two public hearings. So
say that number again.
0.5925. Sorry, 0.5925. As long as you adopt below 0.5925, then we don't have to have the public hearings. And if you decide to do that, then on September 26th, 72 hours before then you can go ahead and just put on your agenda that you're adopting the tax rate, and that'd be sufficient. So
obviously we're not going to need the two public hearings because our intent is not to.
Correct. Yes. So at this
but
point,
have you already checked it? Because we are lowering it a cent, but does the effective rate come below this?
Well, at this point, the effective rate is 0.5925. So if you decided you wanted 0.59, we would not have. If you decided you wanted 0.5925, we would not have those two public hearings.
No, but we intend to do it at 58.
58. Okay, then definitely we don't have the public hearings.
Anywhere near there.
No, nowhere near. So your proposed tax rate at this time, well, I guess it's
58 cents.
58 cents. Well, great. Perfect.
We're going down.
Great. Well, I've been around for many years, and you're doing good. So hopefully the taxpayer will be happy for that. 58 cents, great. Well, then the only thing we got to do now is adopt it on September 26th. So
we don't need to act on it today, then. If
No.
our intent is to bring it down to 58.
Right, 0.58. So you can vote on the proposed tax rate, which is 0.58 cents. You can do that.
Hold on, Sergio. We've said a cent. I don't want to. We've talked about a penny. I just want to make sure that that's what we're talking about.
Okay.
Yes.
So we've talked about lowering it a penny. So what's the exact
Correct.
rate that we would approve?
The tax rate will be 58 cents.
And
that's what you've already calculated.
That's what we've
based on
calculated.
58 cents.
In the budget workshops, the revenue figures that we've used are based on the 58 cents. Yes.
Is that 0.5800?
0.58, yeah.
So you're saying that we can actually make our vote already?
You can vote on the
On the
proposed tax rate, and then on September 26th, you can adopt the tax rate at that time.
Well, I make a motion that we adopt the tax rate at 58 cents, lowering the tax rate by a cent.
Second.
Thank you. Go ahead.
It's item 6A4, Judge.
That one is.
Yes, I just wanted to say that
That one is it exceeds the effective tax rate.
Oh, yeah.
And the other one's only discussion. Why don't you tell us, Steve? Can we act on it?
I think you can act on it that you're not adopting the rate at
No,
this point in
you're just
time.
basically the proposed
you
tax
could
rate that the court approves would basically be what is the maximum tax rate that they will be able to adopt.
Right, so
if you approve the 58 cents, You will not be able to go up to 59 if for some reason something happens, we say, no, we need to stay at 59. You won't be able to do that unless you have the public hearings. If we approve it now at 58, then basically we're pretty much shut out because then there's notices that have to be done, and we probably would not be able to have the time frame to do that.
Let me just say that just in case, that you're always, you're allowed to vote on the proposed tax rate at 0.59 cents if you want. And because just in case that anything happens, but then on September 26th, you can always go down to 0.58. And even though if you propose a rate of 0.59 cents right now, we don't have to have the public hearings. So it's something that just in case, just for you to know, that if you propose 0.58 cents now, and tomorrow you want to say, well, let's go to
We've already announced 58 to the community.
Okay.
We're not going to
then that is great then.
bring it back
Judge,
we're happy then.
Judge, Commissioners, I think it'd be proper now for you to vote on a proposed tax rate of 0.58.
That was my motion.
Need a second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously.
And just for the record, Judge, that was with 4, the judge, and 3 commissioners present and voting.
And just for the record, the last time we've seen a tax decrease is in more than, I think, 19 years. I was looking at the historic. So.
On the September 26th, we need help. Yes, the comment I wanted to make right before the vote was just say thank you for working with your department and with Valde's department and with all of us, trying to make sure that we can still deliver all these services that we've been talking about. And being able to reduce the tax rate is a very great accomplishment. So thank you for all your hard work. Thank you, Paul, for your guidance as well.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Let's move on to item 7A, our DA's office.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Rosalinda Cantu presenting for the District Attorney's Office. Item 7A, DA's Victim Coordinator and Liaison Grant, Fund 1281. Number 1, requesting approval to designate the County Judge Ramon Garcia as the authorized official for the VCLG grant.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Number 2, requesting authority for Commissioner's Court official to sign document.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Letter B, Victims Assistance Program, Fund 1281, approval to continue payment of salaries, fringe benefits, and operating expenses from the current Victims Assistance Program grant pending the award of the FY 2017-2019 grant.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Letter C, Hidalgo County DA's Office Victims Assistance Program Grant Fund 1281, approval to submit a Victims Assistance Program grant number 2924301 budget adjustment to the Office of the Governor.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Letter D, Domestic Violence Specialty Prosecutor Grant Fund 1281, approval to continue the payment of salaries, fringe benefits, and operating expenses from the Domestic Violence Specialty Prosecutor Grant pending the award of the 2017-2018 grant.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Letter E, DA's Office State Supplement Grant Fund 1281. Number 1, requesting approval to accept the fiscal year 2017-2018 DA State Supplement in the amount of $22,500, period September 1st, 2017 through August 31st, 2018.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Number 2, approval of certification of revenues as certified by the County Auditor for the fiscal year 2017-2018 DA State Supplement Grant.
Move. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Number 3, approval of appropriation of funds in the amount of $22,500.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Auditor's Office.
Good afternoon. Linda Fong for the Auditor's Office. Item 8A, approval to release the county's audited comprehensive annual financial report, single audit and management letter for the year ended December 31st, 2016, prior to acceptance by the Commissioner's Court. Bert McCumber Cortez likes to meet and present the CAFR and single audit after meeting with you all individually. So until that happens, they don't present it. However, we need to release it to our grantor agencies and to the CAFR, so we're requesting approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Constable, precinct number 1.
Good afternoon. Martin Blanco, Constable's Office, Precinct Number 1, Judge Commissioners. The first item I have is item 9A, Constable Precinct 1, Rifle Resistant Body Armor Grant, Program 1284. A1, authorization and approval to apply for the Texas Rifle Resistant Armor Grant.
For approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
A2, authorization for county judge as authorized official to sign required documents for the application.
For approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. The second item will be 9B, Constable Precinct 1, authorization to accept the approval notice in reference to the Local Border Security Program 2017-2018 LBSP for the amount of $32,000.
For approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item B2, authorization and approval for county judge as authorized official to electronically accept grant award from and related document.
For approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item B3, authorization to pay overtime reimbursable under the grant terms and conditions.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item B4, approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for the fiscal year 2017-2018 Local Border Security Program, LBSP.
For approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item B5, approval to appropriate the budget for Constable Precinct 1 of office portion of the fiscal year 2017-2018 Local Border Security Program, LBSP, in the amount of $32,000.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Constable Precinct 2.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Afternoon.
I'm here for item 10A, requesting approval of amendment to the interlocal agreement between Tropical Texas Behavioral Health and the County of Hidalgo by and through the Office of Constable Precinct 2.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item A2 is authorization to pay overtime reimbursable under the interlocal agreement terms and conditions.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item A3, authorization for county judge as authorized official to sign amendment to the interlocal agreement award and related documents.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
And last item is A4, approval of certification of revenues by the county auditor.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
And A5, approval of appropriation of funds.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Precinct 3. Constable Precinct 3, Judge.
All right. Constable Precinct 3.
Good morning, Commissioners. Larry Ardo, Constable
Morning.
Precinct 3. 11A, this is sub-truancy grant. Approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Approval of appropriation of funds.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
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 Those are
Motion carries.
Two contracts we have with Mission and the whole school districts for targeting truancy. 11B is the Constable Precinct 3 Local Border Security Program. Number 1 is authorization to accept the statement of grant award in reference to Local Border Security Program FY18 in the amount of $95,000.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Number 2, authorization and approval for county judge as an authorized official to electronically accept grant award form and related documents.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Number 3, authorization to pay overtime reimbursable under the grant terms and conditions.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Number 4, approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for year 18 local border security grant fund, program fund.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And number 5, approval to appropriate budget for Hidalgo County Constable Precinct 3 office portion of the for year 18 local border security program in the amount of $95,000.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
11C, requesting approval to replace weapons list as attachments to agenda items 47-195 from CCM 1110 of 2014 due to asset tag typo with corrected weapons list number 1.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Constable, Precinct 4.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Constable White here. 12A, Constable Precinct 4. Number 1, requesting approval of amendment to the interlocal agreement between Texas Tropical Behavioral Health and County of Hidalgo by and through the Office of Constable Precinct 4.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
12A2, authorization to pay overtime reimbursable under the interlocal agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
3, authorization for county judge as authorized official to sign amendment to the interlocal agreement awarded and related documents.
Motion approved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
4, approval of certification of revenues by the county auditor.
So moved.
Second.
And 5,
Those
approval
in
of
favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And 5, approval of appropriation of funds.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
12B, 1, authorization to accept the grant awarded in reference to the local border security program fiscal year 2018 for the amount of $65,000 from the Texas Department of Public Safety, Texas Homeland Security State Administrative Agency for the period of September 1st, 2017 to August 31st of 2018.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
B2, authorization and approval for county judge as authorized official to electronically accept grant award form and related documents.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
B3, authorization to pay overtime reimbursable under the grant terms and conditions.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
B4, approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for the local border security program fiscal year 2018 grant.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
B5, approval to appropriate the budget for the Hidalgo County Constable Precinct 4 portion of the local border security program fiscal year 2018 grant in the amount of $65,000.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
C, 1, approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for the National Incident-Based Reporting System, funds awarded and received from the Texas Office of the Governor, Criminal Justice Division.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And C2, approval appropriation of funds for Constable Precinct 4 in the amount of $7,500.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
That's all I've got, Judge, Commissioners. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Well, it's 12:15. At this time, we're going to be acting on that
Judge,
Monday.
I'm sorry, procedurally, can you
Recess
the court session that we're on right now?
All right, at this time, we're going to be recessing our present
9:30, the 9:30
meeting
a.m.
agenda, our 9:30 meeting, and proceeding to the amended or the posted agenda for 12:15.
Yes, and Judge, I would recommend that we skip items 1, 2, and 3, and then go to item 4.
Judge, in regards to item 4, do we need to read it for the record?
I think first I'd recommend that you take item 4A2 first.
For the record, Jonathan Almanza, County Executive Director, regarding item A2, agenda items 6.1 to 8.4, discussion and approval of recommended changes to Justice of the Peace and Constable Precinct boundaries under Article 5, Section 18 of the Texas Constitution due to the creation of Precinct 5, Justice of the Peace, Place 1, and Precinct 5 Constable.
Judge, I'd like to make a motion for approval of 4A2.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. For the record, Commissioner Joe Flores wanted me to make sure that the record reflected that if he were here, he would be voting in support of this issue.
Regarding item 4A1, agenda item 61284, discussion, consideration, and action on order creating Precinct 5, Justice of the Peace, Place 1, and Precinct 5 Constable. And that order has been provided to you all by Julia.
Judge, you want to make that motion?
I'll make the motion to approve.
I will second that motion.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And for the record, Commissioner Joe Flores, County Commissioner Precinct 3, wanted me to make sure that I advised the court and the community that if he were present here today, he would be voting in support of this motion.
So in short, unanimous support.
So it is a unanimous action.
Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you, Judge.
I would like to thank Jonathan and your office, Judge, for doing all the due diligence legally and doing all the research to provide us the information necessary to make this decision. And I'd also like to thank the court for their support. This is going to service an area of Precinct 1 that has been underserviced for the last few years. I know that it's a sacrifice, and sometimes we have to try to justify why we do some of the things we do. I think that if you were to go out there and visit the people, you would know very strongly that they feel that this is necessary. I'd also like to thank the community members that are here, the elected officials that participated in this movement, and thank them for their support over the last few months in creation of these positions. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Judge, Commissioners, I'm sorry, but Monica did point something out to me. Jonathan,
They wanted to have a picture, if that's
yes,
possible. We'll do that.
But item 1 was roll call, and just for the record, we have 4 county commissioners present, county judge, and again, you had already said
that's correct.
If he had been here. So item 1 was the roll call. No, they haven't adjourned, but we'll adjourn in a second.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Take the dust off the suit. Judge, thank you so much.
I want to be able to see everyone's face. I can see you over here.
One, two, three.
There's a gentleman in the back of the discussion. Can you see you? One more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir.
See you. Salut.
Motion to adjourn that meeting.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, moving back on, reconvening our 9:30 meeting. Item 13A, our Sheriff's Office.
13A, A1, approval of the memorandum of understanding between Hidalgo County and Mission Consolidated Independent School District for law enforcement cooperation.
Did you read the item already?
I'm sorry?
Did you read it already?
Yes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
A2, approval and authorization for county judge as authorized official and county sheriff to sign 3 original documents.
Motion to approve.
Those
Second.
in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
13B1, authorization and approval to apply for the rifle-resistant body armor grant program with the Office of Criminal Justice Division.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
13B2, authorization for county judge to e-sign application under e-grants as authorized official.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
13C1, authorization and approval to accept local border security program fiscal year 18 grant in the amount of $225,000.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
13C2, authorization of county judge as authorized official to electronically sign grant award form and related documents.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
13C3, authorization to pay overtime reimbursable under the grant terms and conditions.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
13C4, approval of certification of revenue as certified by the county auditor for the local border security program fiscal year 18.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
13C5, approval to appropriate budget for the LBSP 18 grant award in the amount of $225,000.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
13D, requesting approval for county treasurer to process payment for fuel reimbursement in the amount of $10.01 to Deputy Leonel Torres after auditing procedures and are completed by county auditor. Deputy Torres paid for fuel expense with personal credit card due to county credit card not working properly.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
13E, pursuant to Hidalgo County cell phone telephone policy, Verizon presentation and consideration, acceptance and approval of cellular phone request form for the following: approval of requisition number 347536 for one 4G mobile broadband unlimited access for Skywatch Tower modem.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
13F, requesting Commissioners Court approval of funding and authorization pursuant to Article 3, Section 52A, Texas Constitution, Section I or 1, for Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office to purchase consumable items and imprint Sheriff's Office logo on said items, which will serve a public purpose through our educational, instructional, and training program. Items are introduced through these programs while promoting our educational message, helping to interact with participants, thereby instilling, strengthening, and reinforcement of our partnership and commitment to the citizens of Hidalgo County.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
13G, we're requesting no action.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 14, our executive office.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners. There's going to be no action, nothing to discuss under item 14, 1 and 2. I'm going to defer action on item 14B to later on the agenda. Item 14C, is Mr. Ayala, Pedro Ayala in the audience? Okay. There's a request to utilize the courthouse auditorium on Saturday, August 26th at 10:30 a.m. for a community educational tour of the downtown area here in Edinburgh. Mr. Ayala?
Yes, good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. We're inviting you all to a downtown historic tour. It's a free event. It's open to the community, and we're going to be doing a tour from the old 1910 jail at the Museum of South Texas History. We're going to have a free breakfast at My Place Cafe, and we're going to have a few folks that have grown up here in Edinburgh and talk about some stories about the historic images that are there at the My Place Cafe. And then we're going to walk over to the 1910 jail. We're going to do a tour update on the restoration. We're going to open up the Citrus Theater. It's been closed for many years, and so We're going to give a tour of that historic building and talk about some of the potentials that that building might have to improve downtown. We're going to walk over to the J.C. Penney building, make our way around to the courthouse. And so the objective of the event is to engage the community, our city leaders. It's called Walk the Talk, and we're asking the question, what is your vision for downtown? So this is an opportunity to gather at the auditorium there at the courthouse and have a discussion about that. Then we're going to walk over to the museum. It's going to be open to the public. It'll also be a free entrance. And then we're going to have a drawing of some historical photographs. This event is a grassroots initiative to bring awareness and education for downtown revitalization. Now that we have an architect for the new courthouse, we've invited several architects, engineers, and stakeholders, historic property owners in the community. And we have several sponsors, including the Echo Hotel, South Texas Commercial Real Estate, the Museum of South Texas History, Solorio Engineering, Rio Delta Engineering, Edinburgh EDC, Edinburgh Chamber, Social Life News Magazine, and Rio Grande Guardian. So we're asking the use of the auditorium for this purpose.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Thank you.
We have Ms. Joanne Pettis in the audience. Judge Commissioners, there's a request to utilize the town square or courthouse square Saturday, October 14th from 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. for Love Your Cha-Cha 5K Run Walk event. Ms. Pettis?
Hi, how you doing? Sorry, I've lost my voice. But hello, good afternoon. My name is Joanne Perez Peña. I'm here again to request permission to use the county courthouse parking lot on October 14th from 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. Love Your Cha-Chas is all about awareness and well-being for cancer and breast cancer. Losing my mother and my sister to this horrible disease was a wake-up call, and I feel it's important to be proactive and promote awareness. This year's awareness theme is 80s. Attendance is roughly over 1,200 people. We come together to honor the families, members that we've lost, the survivors we stand beside during their fight for this horrible disease. Money that is raised stays here and is donated to the DHR's Cancer Foundation to help our Hidalgo County residents. And my daughter wanted to say something too.
Hello and good morning, everyone. My name is Gia Peña. I am also here to request permission to use the Hidalgo County parking lot. This event is for my grandmother, Celia Perez, and my aunt, Sandy Perez. My grandmother and Tia Sandy passed away with breast cancer when I was 2 years old. And it's very important for me to help my mom bring awareness for breast cancer. I pray you approve our request. Thank you so much for your time, and hope to see you at the church.
We are going into our 9th year, so I hope you approve our request. So that our commitment, once again, rock breast cancer. And we rock breast cancer awareness. Thank you.
Judge, I'd like to make an approval.
Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
I guess to try to increase participation, I'd like to challenge our county employees. Whoever can beat me in this 5K, I'll take 10 of them out to lunch, if they can beat me. But
that's a good one.
I've done that before, and I had to take 8 people from the city of FAR. But so I'll limit it to 10 people that can beat me.
Yeah,
it's not as fast as it used to be.
Oh, one last request. I wanted to see if we could take a photo with you all.
Yeah. Sure. So make sure the county employees know that.
I have our freedom.
And elected officials too.
There's no way I could beat you. I have to walk. Arthur Dickens. They'll swell. Right here. Y'all together right here.
Move to the left a little bit. Right here. There you go.
Thank you. Good luck.
You all will be all receiving an honorary packet to make sure you all show up to the starting line.
Great job,
I just need your teacher's license, that's it.
I'll be there to run. I know the DA can beat me, but we'll see.
Judge, item E is a request from the City of Edinburgh. This is a recurring request. While one of the dates has already come and gone, we do have, we do participate, or we do work with the City of Edinburgh and their fire department. They do have all the proper insurances in place, but for the ensuing day,
yes, sir.
The City of Edinburgh's fire department is asking the use of our administration building parking lot at the southeast corner of South Business 281 and Canton Road. This is to conduct their annual host test. Again, it was for August 21st and 28th from 5:30 to 10. So one of the dates has come and gone. Again, they do have all the proper insurances, so we do work with them. But I did want to put it on the record as well as for next week, the 28th.
So moved.
Second. Oh, sorry. All in favor, say aye. Motion carries.
Okay. Item E is requesting approval. Oh, okay. F, I'm sorry. Item F is requesting approval for the county treasurer to process payment for fuel reimbursement in the amount of $43 to Leticia Garcia for auditing procedures. After auditing procedures are completed by the county auditor due to Hidalgo County fuel card not working. And for the record, I do want to note that Judge Garcia is not present during this discussion or action item.
Move for approval.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item G, I will defer to item G1 and 2. I'll defer to later on the agenda.
Item 15, Human Resources.
Morning, Commissioners. Raul Seguero from the Executive Office presenting for Human Resources. Item 15A. Commissioners, we have 3 items. 1 is grant related and 2 are general funds. So I would be asking for a waiver of the budget amendment policy for personnel related amendments for those general fund items for the personnel items that are listed.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item B, for the DA's office, this is a grant. It's a request, DA Board of Prosecution Unit. It's a 10-county unit. This is fully funded by the grant, and the grant was submitted by the county, and it was approved at these levels. The item is to adjust the salaries for slots 001, 004, and G005 from the current salary of $85,000 to $94,289.28 cents. It was submitted accordingly, and it was approved at those levels.
Move for approval. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item C for the jail, approval of the following personnel items effective next full pay period. The sheriff is requesting that we delete 2 slots, slot 0363 and 0367, certified medical assistants, one at $31,252 and one at $33,440. And he is asking that we create, in lieu of those 2, a new slot, 0440, a licensed vocational nurse 3 at a salary of $53,562. There's a net savings in that transaction.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item D for the Precinct 4 CRC, the Commissioner is asking approval to change 2 Clerk 1 positions, slots temporary 006 and T009. They're currently part-time positions, and he's asking that we approve them to become full-time positions effective today. Of course, this will be subject to funding.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Okay. Slight correction on the item B, on the DAs. I thought they were exactly the same. There's 2 salaries in the DAs, two at 94,289.28, and then there's one at 94,686.45. I just need approval for that correction.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hi, Diana.
Hi, good afternoon. I have one item this time, which I feel like it's the first time I've ever had one item. But our one item is requesting approval for payment of claims for the following, with authority for the county treasurer to issue payments after review and auditing procedures are completed by the county auditor. These are claims that were submitted on behalf of Robert Kisner, and the explanation is in your packet regarding why these are submitted as claims.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I thank you.
Thank you. Hey, Big Ed.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Item 17A, sir, is a discussion and consideration approval to draw down funds for the demonstration year 6 advanced UC payment and the amount to be determined by HHSC from the local provider participation fund, the LPPF, with a settlement date of 9/18/2017. Approval. Sorry.
9/8.
9/8, right?
Yeah, 9/8, September 8th, 2017.
Move for
September 8th,
approval.
2017.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item B is approval certification of revenues as certified by county auditor from the local provider participation fund and the amount to be determined by HHSC final instructions, which will be on August 25th, 2017.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item C is approval of 2017 appropriations of funds from the LPPF and the amount to be determined by HHSC. Final instructions on August 25th, 2017.
Move for approval. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 2, sir, there is no discussion there unless there's any questions from the commissioners. Sir, item B and items B1, sir, there is no action there unless there's any questions. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. Number 18, Community Service Agency.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Item 18, Jaime Longoria for Community Service Agency. Under item 18A, I'm going to ask that we bring that back at a later meeting. Item 18B, discussion and authorization for County Judge Ramon Garcia to acknowledge receipt of the monitoring report for the Texas Veterans Commission grant number FVA 016B-0333, General Assistance Grant for Operation Bravo Zulu. Commissioners, what you have in front of you is a copy of the monitoring report. We were monitored at kind of in the middle of May of this year. As you know, we had received a $300,000 grant from the Texas Veterans Commission to serve veterans in Hidalgo County. We had set up to serve 450 veterans at approximately at a benefit level of $600 per veteran for a total of $270,000. The monitoring report does show that at the time that they came in and monitored us, we were at 122% of performance in terms of identifying and serving veterans, but we had only expended about 51% of our budget. That was about a month and a half before the end of the budget. That's the bad news. The good news is by the end of the term, June 30th, we were at 92% expended in terms of the overall budget, and we were 98% expended in terms of the dollar amount that went to actual veterans. The rest was administrative money that we weren't able to spend quickly enough. But the good news is that we left a little bit less than 2% of the money on the table, but then we asked for an extension and we were granted a 3-month extension. Okay, so we've got about 3 months to spend the $4,000. That money will go very quickly, and as a matter of fact, it's already pretty much been allocated. So the Commission does request that we submit the monitoring report to the judge and that he officially acknowledge receipt of it through court action. I'll entertain any questions if you've got any questions regarding this grant. We're in the process of developing the new application for next year, and that would be, hopefully, if we're funded, it would be funded starting on July the 1st, go through June 30th of 2018 and 2019.
Move for approval. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. 20, IT Department. Denan.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. We have a quick item that's listed on the grid. It's some cellular phone items. Item 28, authorization and approval for new wireless service is listed on the grid below. This is a GPS device for a vehicle.
Move for approval.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 20B, emergency management, authorization and approval to purchase new wireless services through the county's contract as listed on below for emergency management.
Move for approval.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And finally, 20C, for the DA's Office of Public Affairs, we are adding 2 data cards to the plan as listed on the grid.
Move for approval.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Have a good morning.
Hi, greetings from Head Start. 21A, discussion approval of Hidalgo County Head Start Program Area Distribution 2017-2018. Anytime we move slots around, we have to get this approved, and we have the 6 areas that you see there listed.
Move for second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Presentation for discussion, consideration, and approval, that's B, to enter into a memorandum of understanding between Hidalgo County Head Start Program and Weslaco Independent School District to serve the Progreso, Dana 1, and Dana 2 Head Start centers. This is in keeping with our goal to get all of our classrooms with school teachers in them, and so this completes the rest of them. They approved this memorandum last night in their board meeting.
Move for approval. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
C, presentation for discussion, consideration, and approval to enter into an affiliation and program agreement between Hidalgo County Head Start Program and South Texas College, and this is for the purpose of providing opportunities for the students to observe and participate in the educational process.
Move for approval.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
D, presentation for discussion, consideration, and approval to enter into an interlocal agreement between the Hidalgo County Head Start Program and Weslaco ISD, and this is for the use of Roosevelt Elementary, and we did get assistance from Mr. Steve Crane, and so we're recommending that you approve this interlocal agreement.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Monday is our first day with our children. Thank you.
TJ 22, Planning Department.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. TJ Arredondo for the record. First item is a preliminary approval with a variance request, Bon Viejo Phase 3 subdivision in Precinct 1. It's a 57-lot subdivision in a flood zone C. There is a storm drainage pipe system and detention by widening of the existing drain ditch. It was approved by the City of Donna. There is water via North Alamo, served by septics. Mile 13 North Road is not paved yet. 3 internal streets are to be paved. The variance is for waiving the 1/3 escrow for a 36-foot wide road. The developer will instead pave a 24-foot wide section or width, edge to edge. So that's pretty much twice the amount that the 1/3 escrow would be. So we're recommending approval for that.
So move. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Next item is preliminary approval of Gilberto Hernandez subdivision precinct 1. It's a 2-lot subdivision, 1 agricultural lot and 1 agricultural lot, non-residential, and a flood zone X. Drains will be detained on site. It's in the rural area of the county. Water by North Alamo, sewer by septics. 1 1 west is paved. Mile 15 north is unpaved. We're requesting a 1/3 escrow for that. We're recommending preliminary approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Next item is also preliminary approval, Baseline Heights Unit 3 subdivision, Precinct 1, a 22-lot subdivision in a flood zone X. There is storm sewer system discharging into an existing drain ditch on the north side. It was approved by the City of Mercedes. There's water by North Alamo, sewer by septics. Mile 12.5 east is not paved. 2 internal streets are to be paved, and we're also going to request a 1/3 escrow for mile 12.5 east.
So move.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Next item, also preliminary, San Martin number 4 subdivision, Precinct 1, is a 25-lot subdivision in a flood zone C. There will be a storm sewer system discharging into an existing drain ditch to the north of the subdivision. It was approved by the City of Donna. There's water via North Alamo. Sewer will be septics. Kenton Road and 3 internal streets are to be paved.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Next item is final approval of Howling Trails subdivision, Precinct 3. It's a 1-lot institutional subdivision in a flood zone C. There is detention on site. It was approved by the City of Mission. There will be water by Hidalgo County Mud Number 1, sanitary sewer by Mud, Hidalgo County Mud Number 1, and Western Road is paved. We're recommending final approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Last item is final approval of the financial guarantee, Sunset Valley Phase 4 in Precinct 1. It's a 16-lot subdivision in a flood zone X. Drainage detention will be detained on site with the natural flow to the roadside ditch. It was approved by the City of Donna. There will be water via North Alamo, served by septics. Victoria Road is paved. Victoria and Stites Road are paved. The financial guarantee is for in the amount of $4,500 to secure the installation of 3 septic tank systems. We're recommending final with the financial guarantee.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With respect to item 23, I'd like to table that.
Okay. 24, Precinct 2.
Morning, Commissioners. Item 24A, requesting acceptance of approval of application and service agreement for permanent water meter with North Alamo Water Supply Corporation for Hidalgo County Precinct 2 CRC Youth Facility in San Juan, Texas, with authority for the county judge to execute service agreement and application.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
24B, 1, approval of interlocal agreement between the City of San Juan and the County of Hidalgo, Texas to assist one another in multiple projects to be defined by mutual agreement in which both the city and the county will benefit from the outcome of the work.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item 24B2, in accordance with Section 791.014 of the Texas Government Code, requesting approval of the interlocal cooperation agreement project.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, Commissioner Flores' office.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Item 25A, approval to accept a donation of caliche from Cantera Operating.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Budget and Management, Sergio.
Afternoon, Commissioners. Sergio Cruz, Department of Budget Management. Item 26A is approval to continue payment from general fund for employees currently receiving supplemental pay under the Reentry Court Program, the Misdemeanor DWI Court Program, the DWI Court Program, and the Domestic Violence Court Program. 2 of these grants were not renewed by the grantor. 2 of them are still pending approval. Right now, these grants are currently funded via general fund. However, they are reimbursed via the grant. So 2 of these potentially will not be reimbursed, and the other 2, there's a potential that they would not be reimbursed if the grants are not renewed. The total impact would be roughly about $100,000 for all of these employees. We are recommending approval to continue supplemental pay. They're currently budgeted under general fund, so there will really be no increase to the budget. The only thing, we will not be receiving reimbursement.
So move.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 26B is approval of 2017 interfund transfer from countywide administration into Fund 1285 in the amount of $15,616.85. And this is for the cash match for the Stop Truancy Grant.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
On item 26C, we'll have Mr. Salazar come over and present the orders for the stoplight program, streetlight program.
Steve, is there any way we can approve them all at the same time, or if somebody would want to not approve them, remove it?
They could remove it.
So can I just make a motion for approval of 26C, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Would that be appropriate?
As long as no one wants to remove any.
And so now we can hear him, and unless
Sure,
somebody wants
basically,
to...
thank you very much, Mr. Crane, Commissioners. Before we presented you 7 applicants that came in for the subdivisions that we've just mentioned. I'd like to read them for the record. Eduardo's number 7, Greener Pastures, Huizache Acres number 9, Polmix, Sahara number 1, Sahara number 2, and Sioux Estates. These are applicants that have submitted and been successfully determined to have the correct infrastructure in place. So we're requesting your permission to proceed with the orders. We will then work with our tax office to determine the actual amounts to be submitted on the tax statements. Currently, we're looking at $3 to $5 a month.
You made the motion?
I made a motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries
Thank
for
you.
all items 1 through 7. Thank you, Ray.
Item 26D, approval to submit the fiscal year 2017 Texas Vine Grant reimbursement maintenance invoice in the amount of $6,928.83, and the statewide automated victim notification service, county verification of continued production records, with authority for the county judge to sign the required documents.
Move for approval.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 26E1, A and B, is approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor and appropriation of those funds into the Precinct 4 Road Maintenance Program 7 in the amount of $1,433.12, and interfund transfer to Precinct 4 CRC Sunflower Program 186 in the amount of $60,904.38.
Move for approval.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 26E2, A and B, is approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for certificates of obligation series 2017, and appropriation of those funds in the amount of $32,882,124.80, and these are the proceeds for certificates of obligation series 2017.
Move for approval.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 26E3, A and B, is approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor and appropriation and interfund transfer in the amount of $1,289. This is to fund the debt service fund 1443.
Move for approval.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Okay.
Ms. Marty, 27.
Yes, 27A1, A, requesting approval to declare surplus the items listed on Exhibit A, which is office furniture, equipment, and vehicles as surplus for the purpose of sale through the auction that will be held September 6th.
Move for approval.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item B would be pursuant to that same section, 263, 151, and 152, that inasmuch as the order of the property be destroyed if we get no bids and disposed of.
Move for approval.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
C would be authorizing the publication of the ad for that auction sale.
Move for approval.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
2A, this is approval of supplemental agreement 1, Article 8 of the current contract 225 with LNG Engineering for engineering services of the on-call for the Metropolitan Planning Organization to reflect the extension of the 2 years under the same rates, terms, and conditions.
Move for approval.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item B is requesting approval of supplemental agreement number 1, Article 8 of the, and pursuant to the current agreement for LNG Engineers, DBA LNG Engineering, for traffic studies countywide to reflect the extension of the 2 years, also including amendments and increase to Exhibit D1 contract rates.
Move for approval.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
C is requesting approval of supplemental agreement 2, Article 3, period of service of the current contract with LNG Consulting Engineers, DBA LNG, for the engineering services on Mile 3 road project to reflect the extension of 2-year term under the same rates, terms, and conditions.
Move for approval.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item D is requesting approval of supplemental agreement 1 to work authorization 1, and this is an increase of $48.95.68 on a monthly basis for the original work authorization of per month of $76.81.76 to $12.557.44 per month with LNG for the services on the on-call the Metropolitan Planning Organization. That's the reflection of that D1. I'm so sorry. That was a. This is reflecting those negotiated terms
Gotcha.
on that second one.
Move for approval.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
The Executive Office, this is pursuant to options for approval by Commissioners Court, presentation of the evaluation and scoring sheets as completed by the following staff: Assistant DA's Office, Civil Section, Executive Office, and Employee Benefits for prepaid post-tax voluntary legal services for Hidalgo County employees with the following options. There was an option in there for vendors to conduct, if Commissioners Court so wishes, presentations. These have been scored without the presentation, so I don't know if you want action on that or not.
You want a presentation?
We do.
You do want a presentation?
Do we need one?
They graded them without these three committee
graders?
members. DA's office,
Oh, okay.
executive office, and employee benefits department.
I think we're good.
Okay, so no action on one, then we can go to two. Action to accept the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking by Commissioners Court so as to proceed to the next phase of the process, which is negotiations. It was Legal Shield with a score of 89 and Texas Legal with a score of 78. Does the court wish to
So
rank
moved.
them in the order of their scores?
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And B would be authority to commence negotiations with the number one firm of Legal Shield.
Move for approval.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Under C1, Precinct 1, Precinct 1 is requesting approval of following for IOC LLC for FEMA road and drainage improvements of Indian Hills under contract number 399A, requesting acceptance and approval of certificate of substantial completion by IOC and as recommended through the engineer, Ted Z, reflecting the date of August 14, 2017.
Move for approval.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion
And
carries.
B is application for payment number 4, which is the final in the amount of $392,921.24.
Move for approval.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is acceptance and approval for payment of Magic Valley Co-op invoice number as stated on the agenda, and this is for the installation at the pump at Mile 4 West, FM 1925, $3,828.92.
Move for approval.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Under item 3, requesting exemption from competitive bidding under 262-024A4,
Move for
a
approval.
professional service.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Here are the presentation of the scores. That would be Perez Consulting, 90.3, Meldon and Hunt, 89.6, and Gutierrez Engineering at 93.3. Does the court wish to accept them in the order of the
So
scores?
move.
All in favor say aye. Aye,
Aye.
motion carries.
And then 4 would be, C would be authority for purchasing to commence the negotiation process with R. Gutierrez Engineering.
Move for approval.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 4, this is pursuant to the current contract with LNG, Article 14. They are requesting to subcontract the following 4 listed on the agenda for the Mile 6 from Mile 9 to Mile 11. That was ROW, ETSI, Professional Appraisal Services, and HLH Appraisal.
So move.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
B is requesting approval of Supplemental Agreement 1 to Work Authorization 1, and this is for LNG Consulting Engineers to revise Exhibit D1 estimated man-hour breakdowns to reflect the correct contract rates and hours.
Move for approval.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Under Precinct 2, acceptance and approval to execute the final form of professional engineering services agreement subject to legal counsel's review with B to Z, and this is for was approved for negotiations back on August 1st.
Move for approval.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
2, acceptance and approval of the executed final form of agreement with Quintanilla Headley and Associates as approved on June 13th, 2017.
Move for approval.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Precinct 3, requesting approval of Supplemental Agreement 1 to Work Authorization 1, Article 8, current contract, LNG, contract engineer for Veterans Boulevard to reflect the revised Exhibit D1.
Move for approval.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And B is requesting approval of Supplemental Agreement 1 to Work Authorization 2 of the current contract, LNG, for Veterans to reflect the revised Exhibit D1.
Move for approval.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Precinct 4, presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking. They are B to Z 97, Envirotech Civil Engineers 95, and Land Tech 93. Does the court wish
So
to
move.
accept the order of the scores?
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And B is authority to commence negotiations with B to Z, the number 1.
So move.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is approval of change order 1 in the amount of $48,500 and an allowance expenditure number 1 in the amount of $11,000 in connection with the Recovery and Motor Pool Improvement Project with a new contract number of $443,500. Contracted vendor is Synergy Builders of Texas and is recommended by Half and Associates.
So move.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Can I stop you real quick, Marty?
Sure.
I need to do something just to not jeopardize a lawsuit. Steve, if I may, on B, C3, we had a motion and a second and a vote. I want to vote against just to not affect the lawsuit that I have, that this individual has.
A motion to rescind item 3C,
The vote?
correct?
Yeah, there's a motion and a second and there was a vote. I just want to vote against.
Well, but
However you wanna do
the
it.
vote was what, 2-1?
It would be 2-1.
Well, but we took a vote, was it
3-1.
3-0?
Correct.
It was
So we need to rescind B3C, correct? We need to rescind that action and then vote again so you can vote.
Okay, so
abstain.
on 3C, I'll entertain a motion.
To rescind.
So moved.
Oh, to rescind first. Okay.
So the rescind, I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So I'm for the recession.
No, you're for the
Right.
for the rescinding of the motion.
Okay. And so now going back to that item.
Okay, so I read them again.
Uh,
First, the exemption.
The C, I think. Well,
C, yeah.
do you want to do all? Commissioner,
Just
you
the
want-
C.
Just the C.
Okay. Just C. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of the scores?
That was.
Oh,
B.
C. Okay.
Sorry.
Well, I think that's what you want.
Oh, yeah,
right?
go to that one. I'm sorry.
Okay, so we need to rescind B also then, is what you're saying.
Oh, I thought we resented A, B, and C.
Well, I heard just C. Commissioner, what was your intent?
I just want to make sure that I'm not voting for him.
Okay,
Okay,
well,
Mr. Crane, how about this?
He abstains.
No, how about this? Let's just rescind.
let's
A,
rescind all
B, and
three.
C.
And start.
Let's start over.
Okay,
Rescind
so-
all of 3.
Motion to rescind.
Okay, so I make, okay, and second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, Ms. Martin.
Okay, A, do we want to vote on exemption from competitive
Correct.
bidding first? Or
So
professional
moved.
service?
Second.
2 is
All in
presentation.
favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm just going to vote against all of them. I vote against. Now B.
Okay, B, the court wished to rank them in the order of the scores that are presented on the grid.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm against.
Okay. And then 3, authority to commence negotiations with the number 1,
So moved.
Har Gutierrez.
All in favor, say aye.
Was there a second?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't hear.
And I'm against.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
No problem. G1, IT, this is requesting approval to purchase uninterruptible power supply technology equipment, UPS, through NetSync Network Solutions DIR contract as stated on the agenda, $55,504.42. And the
Second.
purpose is self-explanatory.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item B is requesting approval to purchase technology equipment through NetSync Network Solutions DIR contract in the amount of $98,689.98 with the explanation, self-explanatory.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Under H1, Budget and Management pursuant to RFP Section 3, requesting action including but not limited to the following options in connection with the evaluation of the responses received for project titled Wellness Program Services. A, Commissioners Court, let me give you the options first. Commissioners Court will score and evaluate, or select or appoint, designate an evaluation committee, including but not limited to either Hidalgo County's group health consultant, Alamo Insurance, Gary Looney, to be the sole grader, or 2, as recommended by the Benefits Department, that 3 staff members from that department recommended by Ms. Laura Vasquez, including herself, Angelica Tapia, and Mari Lumbreras from the judge's office, be the graders, or C, any combination of the above. Or 3, I'm sorry, any combination of the above.
I think that we need local people with that grading, just because they're the ones that are going to use it.
So you would go
And I would
on,
agree.
on B2, no action on anything else.
Oh,
Is that correct?
so you're advocating that we're not part of the grading process?
That we are.
That we are, and so am I.
Okay, so
So,
it's,
are you saying Commissioners Court?
So A.
Commissioner?
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, at the very least, people from our staff.
I would agree.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with them unless you want to put somebody else in.
Well, he's saying that we should be a part of that as well, right?
They can propose it to us.
Okay, I mean,
I just want them to sit in since they're the ones who are going to be using it.
I agree.
Okay, so you're wanting to do a combination, which would be B2, those three, plus representatives from the court, designated from each member
No,
of the court.
I think what we're saying is we're going to approve 2, but then they're going to, it's like an advisory. They're going to present it to us.
They'll
and then-
attend the other way.
Right.
So it'll be A and B2 as a combination, right?
No, because A says
Just A.
Commissioner's Court will score.
Okay, and you just want them to attend, so they've got an invitation to be part of the,
I'm confused at this point.
Yeah. Do you prefer the court to grade on the health insurance, Judge?
We're on.
this is on the wellness program? Under
Oh,
our
it's just
health
specifically
insurance?
the wellness program?
Yes.
That's for wellness.
Oh, okay.
It's the wellness program. We have so much money from Aetna to
Oh, I
start
gotcha.
our own wellness program.
Then we're good with staff. I mean, I'm personally good with staff.
I am too.
Yeah, that would be our recommendation to have
The
Ms.
B-
Vasquez, Ms. Tapia, and Ms. Lumbreras.
Okay, so I'm going to make a motion for approval of H1B.
2.
B2.
B2.
And
Gotcha.
no action on any of the others.
Yes.
Okay.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 1 for Sheriff's Office, I1, acceptance and approval to amend the license software and professional services agreement as required by Tyler Technologies to include jail data export, and that's $7,990.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And B is acceptance and approval of professional services agreement with Tyler on the wristband modification commissary enhancement for the commissary in the amount of $10,780.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And for the DA's office, 1, acceptance and approval of following from contractor Hercon for the construction of the space pressure control at the autopsy facility as submitted and certified by the engineer Half Associates. A, amended certificate of substantial completion approved on 2/21/17 to include liquidated damages in the amount of $7,700.
Application 15.
Second.
This is not the same.
Keep on one more page. Right here.
Okay.
Item B is,
I'm sorry, hold on, Marty. You're in what item number?
I1A.
IB.
J1.
Oh, J,
As
I'm
to
sorry,
IA, we got a
J1B.
motion and a second. Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B is change order number 2 reflecting unused owner's allowance.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C is application for payment number 2 in the amount of $38,383.30.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And D is application for payment number 3 final in the amount of $7,250.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
On item K, countywide, we have a request submitted by the vendor, acceptance and action on a request by the vendor Pinnacle Petroleum to withdraw their submitted bid in connection with bulk gasoline on-off highway diesel fuel and other related miscellaneous products. They're saying we have a primary and secondary vendor. They do not wish to be a secondary vendor and wish to withdraw their bid.
Is that okay?
It would be okay because Argentiguy, it's very rare that we ever go to a secondary. Argentiguy has always been there for
Second.
compliance.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 6 is presentation of the responsible vendor Argentiguy, submitting the lowest and best bid meeting all specifications and/or requirements, and this is for the purposes of award and approval of contract for bulk gasoline on-off highway diesel fuel and other related miscellaneous products.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. That is all I have.
Thank you, ma'am.
Open forum, Judge, and for McClarity, Rosa Salinas, Porfirio Reyes, Pedro Ayala, Melanie Garcia, and we do have one participant for the, and I'll remind the audience to please respect the speaker's time at the podium, and there's, for the speaker at the podium, there's a 3-minute time limit, and I will advise when you have 1 minute left.
Thank you. I didn't really think this moment would ever come. I'm so excited. Thank you guys for having me. My name is Melody Garcia. I am the Director of Residential Services for Safe Haven for Kids Emergency Shelter. Now, by a show of hands, how many of y'all have heard of us already? All right, we have one. So, Safe Haven for Kids will be serving children from the Rio Grande Valley who have been removed from their homes due to abuse and neglect. The reason why it's significant, the reason why I'm here today is because Hidalgo County, unfortunately, has some of the worst statistics of child abuse and CPS removals in the entire state. We're actually at number 1 for confirmed cases of child abuse, and we're number 7 for removals in the state. Currently, there are no other emergency shelters serving the Rio Grande Valley. So the children who are removed from their homes are being taken to places outside the Rio Grande Valley, which makes it really difficult for family reunification, meaning our children from our own community are being filtered through the system, which is not really good for their futures, and it's not really good for the community at large. So the reason why I'm here is just to bring awareness to this issue and the awareness to this emergency shelter being opened up, and I'd like to invite any of you to come see our facility, see how warm and welcoming it will be for our children, and I want to ask you for your support in this endeavor. Thank you all.
I'll be there tomorrow at 11.
Awesome. Yes, thank you so much. And we really urge all of you and anyone from the community to call and make an appointment to come see before we open for business sometime in October. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Judge, there is a need to go back into closed session.
Pursuant to 551, 071, and 072, need a motion to proceed to executive session. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We will be in executive session for a short while.
Back in open session, so I'm going to refer now back to item 14B, discussion, consideration, and action on settlement agreement between the United States of America, DOJ, Department of Justice, and Hidalgo County regarding the accessibility of polling places, and that was DJ number 204-74-359. Judge Commissioner.
And volley for the record, that would be as amended.
As amended, yes, as amended. So if we could have some motion, a second to that.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And item 14G, I'm asking the court at this time to approve and accept the settlement agreement offer from Texas Municipal League, which is TML, in the amount of $3,545 in order to settle a total loss auto accident claim with a county vehicle. So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And item 14G2, approval to authorize myself, Valdiguera, the county executive officer, to sign power of attorney forms for title purposes to settle total loss accident claim with Texas Municipal League, TML. So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And going now back again under open session 31A, there's no action under real estate acquisition appropriation for same. 31B, no action pending under potential litigation. 31C, there's already been discussion and direction with the aspects of regarding Senate 4. Item 31D, there's no action under potential litigation, causes of action against drug manufacturers and or distributor of opiates. 31E, civil action number 117-CB-690, Whole Women's Health et al. Versus Ken Paxton, Attorney General of Texas et al. In the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Texas, Austin Division. There's no action to be taken at this time. Just proceed as directed. Item 31F, Judge Commissioners. 31F is Michael Calvillo and Rosa Rivera versus County of Hidalgo et al. We do have a settlement agreement in this case. This was a case where our insurance carrier was involved, as we did and exceed our SIR, and so for purposes of the settlement, I'm asking the court to accept in settlement of C-8615-14A Michael Calvillo and Rosa Rivera versus County of Hidalgo or Hidalgo County et al. Settlement offer, grand total, again with the insurance company, is $192,500, and it would be as follows. Michael Calvillo, $40,000. Rosa Rivera, $95,000. Luis Espinosa, $40,000. And Aaron Calvillo, $17,500. We will be asking our insurance carrier for reimbursement for fees and costs over our self-insured retention.
So moved. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And item 31G, cause number 717-CB-00300, Elena Leal versus Hidalgo County and Eliazardo Ramos, Judge Commissioners. This is an issue that's come up before Commissioners Court. It was a claim at the time, and so I'm putting on the record that it's gone from a claim status to a suit status. And so Mr. Preston Henderson was assigned to protect the interest and defend the county at the claim status, and so he will now be defending and protecting the county's interest at the suit status. And that's just to put it on the record. And the last one, claim of Dagoberto Salinas, Judge Commissioners. I'd like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $2,955.63 in settlement of this claim.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And there is no action to be taken on item 30A and B. And Judge Commissioners, for the record, we will be having Commissioners Court next week, Tuesday, August 29th, and that would be 9 a.m., Drainage District, 9:30, Commissioners Court.
Next Tuesday?
Yes, next Tuesday. And so-
Motion to adjourn.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.